right, hello, here we go. Good morning. Hi, everybody. Brock and Salk Show. Seattle Sports here on 710, seattlesports.com, the Seattle Sports app, and all the podcast platforms, all of them. YouTube, should mention YouTube, 97.3 HD2, Spotify, and Apple Podcast, like everywhere, man. Wherever you want to find us, we'll be there, and thank you for doing it. It's a strange morning here. There's a leak in the studio. I can hear dripping every couple seconds, Maura. There's a drip, which at first I thought was somewhere deep in the recesses of my brain, but it turns out it's just right there in front of me. It's just a little drip. Every couple seconds, you hear a little plop.
Yeah,
plop.
I think I heard that it found its way to some new camera equipment.
That sounds about right. We've been sabotaged.
Somehow circumvented the upstairs here and just went straight into our studio.
Typical admin upstairs, all of the management who works up there just kind of skirts the problem, and we get it all right here in our studio, so that's okay. We'll fight through. I wanted to start quickly today before, obviously, talking a ton of Seahawks and talking about the Rashid Shaheed trade and all of that. Quick shout-out today. I don't do a lot of shout-outs, but as I was walking in this morning, I realized that I should give a shout-out. And unfortunately, I don't know this person's name, and I don't know whether this person listens to the show. So this is a shout-out that may just go off into the ether. But
shout-out, shot in the dark?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. And it was dark out this morning when I saw this person. The guy, a shout out to all the garbage truck drivers, all of them, because that seems like a really hard job, and they bust their butt, and it seems like a challenge. But the guy who drives the garbage truck right outside our office here, so that would be the corner of East Lake and Howe, there's an apartment building across the street from us that must have, I don't know, 6, 7, 8, I don't know how many trash cans or recyclable, whatever it is he's got to go get, big bins. And he's got to park on the street, and there's not enough room for other cars to get by him. So he knows as soon as he parks there that he's taken up an entire street. Anybody who's got to get either into our parking lot or up and down the street is unfortunately going to be stuck until he gets back. I've gotten there at about the same time as him the last few weeks. I don't know why. We're like on the exact same schedule. And he is sprinting over to get those barrels every time. He sprints over. He's super, like a couple weeks ago when I got here, he like moved in order to let me get into the parking lot first and then went and did his work. He's just like the most courteous, awesome guy. And he does his job incredibly hard and incredibly well. And you see a lot of people out there that don't, a lot of people who take their jobs not very seriously. And he is not one of them. And I just wanted to just throw a quick shout out his way.
Oh, I love that.
I don't know. He's seems like a really hard worker. So if he's looking to, work in radio, call me. Maybe we can get you in here. Except then I'd be bummed because somebody else would probably be out there taking forever to deal with the trash across the street. So thank you for the hard work, whoever you are. Really appreciate it. Maybe at some point I'll be here in the morning and have a moment to say hello and ask your name and shout you out a little bit more appropriately. But love that guy. My favorite hard worker here in the city of Seattle. All right, it was a crazy day yesterday. Obviously for the Seahawks, you got the Rashid Shaheed trade. It wasn't the biggest trade made in football yesterday. I mean, the Jets took care of that with 2 gigantic trades with Sauce Gardner and Quinnen Williams, which is, completely resetting and restarting their franchise. 5 first-round picks now in the next 2 drafts. So, I mean, the Jets were kind of the biggest talking point of the day. And certainly if a team in New York, the Jets, is going to make a trade with a team in Dallas, the Cowboys, that's going to lead SportsCenter and everything else for the next 24-plus hours, or maybe the next 24-plus months or years. We'll see, because that's like the ultimate culmination of everything coming together at once. But what the Seahawks did yesterday was perfect. And I guess I would sum it up more than anything else by saying it really has no downside. I can't come up with a possible bad thing about the draft. They gave up a 4th and 5th round picks. Like, I'm not going to sit here and complain about that.
The only complaint I saw was someone texted in they were worried it would hurt Torrey Horton's development, but I don't
see that, man. I don't see that at all. I mean, using him in the right situations, I don't think anybody soured on Torrey Horton. To me, it's much more guarding against the risk that Cooper Kupp is actually really hurt. Or even if he's not really hurt, that he's not going to be, an unbelievably effective player who you have to have in the game all the time. In fact, Brady Henderson was on yesterday and made some of that point himself.
I think this is a reflection of the fact that, even though this is not relative to the rest of the NFL, a very three-receiver heavy offense. I mean, the entire league is basically running with three receivers a good chunk of the time. So even teams on the lower end of that spectrum, the Seahawks still do it over a third of their offensive plays. And so it just highlights the need for having three guys you really feel good about. And, with Cooper Kupp's injury history, I think maybe to a lesser extent, Torrey Horton's injury history, as good as he's been as a rookie so far, he did kind of get banged up in college and over the offseason. So I think this is just a reflection of, the fact that the Seahawks need three guys that they really feel good about, even though you kind of tend to think of this offense as being more of that heavy personnel style of offense.
Well, I kind of like the way he brings that up and the way he attacks that of like, look, you're still going to go a lot of three wideouts. Whether or not that's your favorite personnel or not, you're still doing it on a third of the plays. And if Cooper Kupp's not available, then yeah, you need this guy. You need another legitimate receiving threat. If Cooper Kupp isn't there, Tarik Young looks like he's done for the year, or at the very least for a while. So what, you just want to have JSN and Torrey Horton and then throw up your hands? No, that doesn't make any sense.
Well, and he can take the top off in a way that Cooper Kupp cannot at this point.
Absolutely.
Cooper Kupp still brings things, especially his blocking, but...
Well, I think he can take the top off in a way that even Torrey Horton can't do it. And maybe that actually allows Torrey Horton to develop even more because he has to, perfect his route running and run more intermediate routes. I don't know. All three of these guys can run deep if you need them to. So I just think it makes them a little bit more versatile. It makes them... it gives them more speed. Nobody has ever looked at speed and said, it's a bad thing. It's too much speed. Yeah, we just can't deal with it. It's too much speed. Don't want it. Don't need it. Can't do it. Of course you want speed. And that's the thing he's got for days and days. So, you got to like what they did specifically. You got to like the bigger picture element of just adding to the team and saying, all right, we like who we are. We want to make it even better. We want to continue to commit resources to this group this year. They didn't trade away anybody that was on the active roster, similar to what the Mariners didn't do at their deadline, right? I mean, that's, again, another way of looking at it and saying, hey, even if some of these contracts are going to run out at the end of the year, even if some of you end up leaving for nothing, we are so committed and believe so strongly in where the team is right now that we're not going to let anybody walk. We're not going to trade anybody now. We need Reek Woolen for whether it's depth or starting or whatever. We need Boye Mafe, even if we end up not being able to re-sign them both in the offseason. Okay. I love it. I do think that they're committing to a team that we all like right now. We all think is fun. We're all getting to know better. And all you've done is and by the way, and we'll mention this probably a couple of times throughout the morning, apparently this dude is like beloved. Everybody likes this guy. Like, it just seems like one of the good dudes in all of football, as somebody that, made the team as an undrafted free agent a couple of years. He's been productive in all 4 years as a player. And, just listening to the way his coach talked about him, or at least reading some of that yesterday, seeing some of the comments made by Chris Olave and other teammates, this guy is really well liked in New Orleans. I could read you this too. This was Kellen Moore, his coach, on the radio yesterday. Trades are really hard in this league. There's a personal side of things that always naturally grabs you. We love Shaheed. One of the nicest people you could possibly meet in the NFL. By the way, that's a huge compliment. He's an awesome person. He's competitive. He's had so much success in this league, and he's earned it through this whole entire journey in this league. There's a bittersweet component to this. We understand the business side. And he kind of goes through more and more and then says, as for Shaheed, he's going to go out there. I'm sure he's going to play really, really well for Seattle and continue the success that he's carried. That's going out of your way. That's not like, we like all our players, and unfortunately it's a business, yada, yada. That is, this dude is special, and we hated to make this trade, but we felt like we had to do it because we're just not in a position to win right now, and he's going to leave at the end of the year anyway. So, yeah, it's just another thing to like about what the Seahawks did yesterday. So I got plenty of sound. Mora, the sound hound, was on top of this yesterday. The sound Saluki was doing her thing.
I mean, it wasn't hard to find.
bet.
People really, even though this wasn't, like you said, the big name one, that was Quinnen Williams and Sauce Gardner, but there was a lot of people excited about this trade.
As they should be. Yeah, I, as a Seahawks fan, really like it. Really like it. And even if it's not, okay, look, I was excited for Trey Hendrickson or that kind of a name. Okay, so they didn't do that. There's nothing not to like here. There's nothing to look at and be like, I don't know. That's an awful, like, no. It just seems like it fits very well and is a very measured approach to trying to get your team to be in even better shape this year. So we'll play some more of that sound, some of the reactions, some of what people like. Dan Orlovsky. I got Mark Schlereth. I've got Harry Douglas, a former third receiver himself. Man, there's so much sound. We'll play a lot of it. We'll tell you whatever else is going on here. Next on Brock and Salk.
Wyman and Bob.
Is this like a signature win?
Every afternoon at 2.
To try to get people to believe in this team. They just cruised the entire way.
While I think it's an impressive win, I wouldn't call it a signature win based on the opponent. To me, a signature win is beat the Rams. Beat a team, especially in your division, that's really good record-wise. That's what I would title a signature win. If they beat the Rams, that's the best opponent they've got in like the next 5 games.
Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton, only on Seattle Sports.
Seaport Airlines. If airport slowdowns and delays have you rethinking your trip, well, there's an easier way to fly. Seaport Airlines flies TSA free with service between Portland Business Aviation and Seattle's Boeing Field. No delays, no stress. Book today at flyseaportair.com. What is that sound? Ugh, that sounds like a plumbing sound. Luckily, there's a company that fixes all the plumbing sounds across Puget Sound. That's All Sound Plumbing. Puget Sound's plumbing experts. Have a sound? Visit allsoundplumbing.com.
For over 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto Repair has been the one locals trust for honest pricing, expert service, and guaranteed repairs. This dedication has earned them a Carfax Preferred designation. At Bucky's, every customer gets detailed Carfax updates, timely service reminders, and a full service history, all at your fingertips. With 16 family-owned locations, no appointment needed, and easy financing, Bucky's makes auto care simple. Visit Bucky's.com today and drive with confidence. Bucky's.com.
With football season comes colder weather, so if you need new windows and doors, don't drop the ball. Steve Rabel here with Keith Dashafee from locally owned Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. So Keith, what's your next big play?
Well, Steve, right now get 40% off qualifying installs or no payments and no interest for 12 months on approved credit.
Schedule a free consultation with Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Go to PellaPNW.com. That's PellaPNW.com.
Running a business means wearing multiple hats. So if you're like me, you probably started out using your personal phone, taking client calls and texts nonstop. As my business grew, I needed something smarter. That's when I switched to Quo, the #1 business phone system. Quo works right on your phone or computer. No carrying 2 phones, no clunky landline, just one easy app you can try for free. Your team can share one number and handle calls and texts together like a shared inbox. Any teammate can jump into the conversation, so customers get faster responses. And Quo's AI agent can be set up in minutes to answer calls and questions 24/7, so you never miss a customer, lead, or opportunity. All this starts at just $15 a month. That's basically 2 coffees. Find out why 90,000 businesses trust Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports. That's quo.com/sports to try Quo free. QUO.com/SPORTS.
Paying extra for tire care is BS. You know, bad service. So at Midas, we're rolling out our BS-free tire guarantee, included with paid installation and tax on every purchase. You'll pay nothing for flat replacements, nada for flat repairs, and zilch for tire rotations every 5,000 miles. That's $0 for all that. So with this limited lifetime tire guarantee, you'll pay a whole lot of nothing compared to what the other guys charge for tire care. That's the BS-free tire guarantee, only at Midas.
Michelle's Moment here for Gainbridge and their Give Back program, Gainbridge Assist, powered by Parity. Gainbridge and Gainbridge Assist, powered by Parity's goal is to empower girls and women through sports and education, providing 32 organizations in 21 states $222 of grant funding during 2025. These grants aim to level the playing field and expand access to sports and education for girls and women across the country. Here's to a future with no limits for women's sports with Gainbridge and Gainbridge Assist powered by Parity.
Want more Seahawks content? Join me, G. Scott, on The Reset. New episodes of the podcast every Monday and Thursday on YouTube or on the Seattle Sports app.
At Washington Energy Services, we take the time to get to know you and your home. We have the passion and commitment to see each project through and to treat our work as more than just a job. For over 65 years, we've offered award-winning home services, from heating and cooling, plumbing and electrical, to windows and doors. Complete home improvement handled from start to comfort. For peace of mind when you need it most, count on Washington Energy Services, bringing good energy to your home.
Need a break from everything? Escape to a place where anything is possible and the fun never stops. At Silver Reef Casino Resort, you'll discover world-class dining, championship caliber golf, a full sports book and bar, over 1,000 top-rated slots and table games, and so much more. Come join the fun and see why we've been consistently rated one of the region's top destinations. Visit silverreefcasino.com to book your stay and discover all the exciting events and promotions we have in store for you. Silver Reef Casino Resort, located off I-5, exit 260.
The stock market's on fire. AI stocks are performing at all-time levels. We hope you, like many of our investors, have taken advantage of it. A famous man once said, "Buy low, sell high." There's also $8 trillion of cash sitting on the sidelines. Investors are either scared or they don't know where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rireka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares profit with our investors. We've been doing it for 19 years, averaging double-digit returns with zero investor losses. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital and invest in our family of funds. From a 3-year investment with double-digit returns to only a 90-day commitment returning 7%. We also accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at LegacyG.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at LegacyG.com.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
All right, the Seahawks have their squad now for the rest of the season. They made one big move at the deadline yesterday, bringing in Saints receiver Rashid Shaheed for a 4th and 5th round pick in next year's draft. He is, in a word, fast, like really fast, clocked in over 21 miles an hour on a long touchdown run earlier, making that the fastest time recorded so far this year in the league. He's been productive, averages about 49 yards per game in his 4-year career. That number has gone up the last couple of seasons, well over 50 yards per game, and he's doing that despite all kinds of quarterback problems in New Orleans. Considered to be one of the great dudes in the NFL, so, you know, you put all those things together, and it looks like a tremendous day for the Seahawks. Here's Mike Garafolo.
Meanwhile, up there in Seattle, they say the trade deadline isn't just about attacking the weaknesses on your own roster. Sometimes it's making the strengths even stronger. That's what the Seahawks did. Rashid Shaheed, whom the Saints had wanted a 3rd-round pick for. In the end, they get a 4 and a 5. It sort of adds up to that 3rd if you look at it that way. But the Seahawks didn't have to part with a day 2 pick for a guy that knows offensive coordinator Clint Kubiak. So the adjustment there to the scheme will be immediate. He takes the top off of defenses. He makes clutch plays. He'll also be a part of the return game as far as I'm concerned. So the Seahawks say, as good as our offense looked and as good as Sam Darnold looked, gonna look even better now with a deep threat in Shaheed.
Yeah, it's funny. Remember all the conversations we had over the last few weeks about adding to a strength versus, you know, filling a weakness. In some ways, they sort of did both, because depth in the receiving room was obviously a concern, and yet the receivers, especially led by JSN, has been a bit of a strength. The thing about this team is it's all strength. Like, they're the 5th best offense and the 5th best defense right now. Like, if you're looking at either side of the ball, they're both strengths. So they almost couldn't help but add to a strength by making a move yesterday. Harry Douglas also really likes this and what it does for the Seahawks here in the second half of the season.
You have Jackson Smith and Jigba. You have Cooper Kupp. You have 2 tight ends as well. Now you add a Rashid Shaheed, a guy that can take the top off the defense every single time he's out there on the football field. I love this addition for the Seattle Seahawks. And I'm telling y'all, folks, that's a team that can play defense. They can run the football. They can pass it. The quarterback and the offensive coordinator on the same page, and also the quarterback and the best receiver. From a yardage standpoint right now, Jackson Smith and Jigba, those those two guys have elite chemistry, watch out for the Seahawks.
All right, thank you. Harry Douglas, former third receiver himself. The day also somewhat noteworthy for what they didn't do. As I mentioned, Riq Woolen, Boye Mafe, both still here. After some thought they could be dealt before free agency, they were also quiet on the linebacker front. I assume that means they think Ernest Jones is going to be okay, or else that's probably something they would have wanted to add. Jets, busiest team yesterday. They deal defensive stars Sauce Gardner and Quinnen Williams. They're going to be even worse than they've been, but they are going to have 5 first-round picks over the next 2 drafts.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
Munoz, the 0-2 on the way to Carroll's. Here she comes. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. The Mariners will play in October. Cal Raleigh with the underhand toss to Naylor. The Mariners are going to the postseason. And the fans are going crazy here at T-Mobile Park.
Yeah, no major surprises or even minor ones yesterday, but the Mariners did make 2 obvious moves. They officially picked up the incredibly team-friendly option for closer Andres Munoz. It's a $6 million option this year that I think is probably increased to 7 if he met the threshold for games finished. I have to imagine that he did. So probably a $7 million option gives him about a $4 million raise, roughly. They can renew this the next couple years as well at $8 and $10 million apiece. So really staggering value for Andres Munoz as they avoid his 3 arbitration seasons. They also opted to decline the option. Now, this may shock you, on Mitch Garver, which would have cost him about $12 million this upcoming year. Thus ends a rough 2 years in which he was expected to be the regular DH, ended up demoted to really more of a backup catcher role with some DH duties against left-handers, but yeah, it just was not a good fit for whatever reason. Maybe it was the 0 for 40 or whatever it was before he got here to Seattle. At least he was able to end that bad streak, but just never got untracked in 2 different years. I thought maybe last year he would. He was better. He was better this past season. I mean, at least he was a serviceable bat against left-handers, but for $12 million, obviously you're going to expect a whole lot more.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
Let's see. First college football playoff rankings came out last night. I don't know if you were glued to the TV. UW was there. They came in at number 23, so 1 spot ahead of where the AP has them in the polls. Puts them still in the mix, I think, for one of the top 12 spots at the end of the season. I was reading Heather Dinich's piece on that this morning at ESPN, and while she has them listed as one of the teams that's still in the running, she didn't write much about them in particular. But their biggest chip is going to be a chance for a big statement win, right? End of the year against Oregon. If you can win that one, probably put you in position, assuming you win out, for a college football playoff spot, since you only have to be in the top 12. They've got Wisconsin this weekend, and the Kraken will be back on the ice tonight at home against San Jose. Cool story, speaking of ESPN.com this morning. If you have a moment or two, read Greg Wyshynski's piece on Joey Decord using virtual reality to practice, not just during practice and at home, but even in between periods of slow action games. So in games where he feels like he's not seeing enough shots, he'll throw on the VR goggles in between periods in the locker room and just kind of keep himself mentally and maybe even physically sharp. Pretty cool story. All right, that's everything you need to know. 1:15 every hour here on the Brock and Salk Show. All right, we'll be talking all morning long about Rashid Shaheed. Brock's got a lot to say about it. We've got Louis Riddick sound. We got Mina Kimes sound. We've got Dan Orlovsky sound. I got Pat McAfee sound. I mean, like, honestly, the sound Saluki doing her thing. We've got all kinds of good stuff on Shaheed. And then Joel Klatt is going to lend his voice to it as well. He will join us at 8:30 this morning. I'll throw in a quick plug, Maura, to remind people to go to the app, download the Seattle Sports app, which people are doing. I mean, we were getting some numbers on this yesterday in that meeting we had, and yeah, pretty good numbers on the Seattle Sports app recently. If you've got it downloaded, you can leave us a message. Here's the thing, and we will play those on Thursday at 8 a.m. Usually they're just making fun of us, but sometimes there's other stuff thrown in there as well. Sometimes people have an actual point or something like that they'd like to make. Okay. Try to do it by the end of the show today so Maura doesn't have to work too hard tomorrow. She can get all that done today, and we'll be ready to go at 8 a.m. tomorrow. Daniel Jeremiah has such a firm grasp on what's going on in the NFL. Just a measured reaction to everything, and yet he looks at what the Seahawks are doing, and right off the bat says, yeah, Super Bowl contender. One of only a few. Hear why next on Brock and Salk.
Wyman and Bob.
Sam Darnold has been sacked just 9 times this year.
Every afternoon at 2.
How much of that do you put on the pass protection he's getting versus how quickly he's getting rid of the ball?
The offensive line's doing their job, but I would say hitting a spot like 35, 40 yards downfield that's so tiny. I mean, that is really impressive, but the most rare talent to me is a guy who can move around the pocket and keep his eyes downfield.
Only on Seattle Sports and Seattle Sports on YouTube.
Yeah, I don't know about you. When it gets dark out like this, I start thinking about retirement. I start thinking about moving to warmer climates with longer days in the winter. And in order to do all of that, you got to start planning, like not just days or months or years in advance. You probably have to start planning decades in advance in order to really make your retirement what you want it to be. And that means your old 401k, right? If you got one with a previous employer, it could be creating higher investment costs. So that's all money that you wouldn't have for retirement. If you're not sure what to do with your old 401k, I'm going to give you a suggestion. Call Trajan Wealth today and discuss how to optimize those funds and get your money working for you again. Trajan Wealth has core philosophies like low expenses, manager tenure, and tax efficiency. Just a couple key qualities that differentiate Trajan Wealth from their competitors. In fact, I got a call scheduled with them later on this morning after the show. Why not set up your complimentary introductory meeting today and learn more? 206-466-3300 is the number, 206-466-3300, or go to TrajanWealth.com. Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor, paid advertisement.
Well, I'm here with my good buddy, Dr. Dan Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine. And you've heard from Dr. Dan's patients over the years how a simple stem cell procedure has successfully conquered their pain. Well, folks, now it's my turn. After years of dealing with knee pain from all the football abuse, I can say my knee pain now is almost 100% gone. How'd you do it, Dr. Dan?
Well, Brock, personally, I'm very happy that you did so well. And your story is like so many of our other patients who come in, former athletes and non-athletes as well, who have come in with chronic knee pain, and they are looking for alternatives besides knee replacement surgery. And we're happy to provide this service. It's been truly a game changer for so many folks. It's just been a pleasure to be part of this.
Consider Dr. Nelson, the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques, including stem cell therapy. I was in and out with a couple of follow-ups. It's a non-surgical solution to pain using your own stem cells. Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD at 425-823-4000 or visit DanielNelsonMD.com. That's DanielNelsonMD.com.
A Progressive Home and Auto Bundle can protect you round the clock, but we can't protect you from those painful moments in sports.
Holding. Defense.
The ref totally blew that call.
Oh, I'm sure he'll make the right call next time.
It's too late. It cost us the game.
Well, it's just one game.
That loss eliminated us from the playoffs.
Oh, the playoffs are on so late. Now you'll be well rested.
Okay, I need you to stop talking now.
Well, at least your home and auto are protected with a bundle from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Clinton Yates here. The holidays are upon us, and so are the savings at Total Wine & More. Discover thousands of wines, spirits, and beers like my favorite, IPAs, perfect for every celebration and every budget. From bold reds to sparklers, you'll find the perfect wines to raise a glass this season. With the lowest prices for over 30 years, you'll always find what you love and love what you find only at Total Wine & More. Curbside pickup and delivery available in most areas. See TotalWine.com for details. Spirits not sold in Virginia and North Carolina. Drink responsibly. Be 21.
Bonneville International radio station contests are open to participants 18 years of age or older that are residents of Washington State unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contests are not eligible to win unless the station otherwise specifies at its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 60 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available on seattlesports.com or in person at the station during regular business hours.
The home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
Touchdown! Seahawks! Ken Walker III!
Get everything Seahawks at seattlesports.com.
Yay to Bruce, the streaming king.
With quantum fiber internet, he's gonna binge.
He wants more, he's got to have more.
More bedtime true crime.
More podcasts in the shower.
Quantum fiber Wi-Fi has the power. More. Fast internet speed.
He's got the geeks to go big, bring him the games.
Right now.
And his royal we.
More sports non-stop, his quantum fiber's on top. Yay to you.
Switch today at quantumfiber.com. Limited availability, service and speed in select locations only.
Guys, want long-term health you can count on? It starts with knowing your numbers.
Right now, Revive Men's Health Washington is offering a comprehensive wellness panel, a $400 value for just $99. It checks your testosterone, blood sugar, cholesterol, kidney, liver, thyroid, and heart health. Take control of your health today and stay strong for the long haul. Offer ends November 30th. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com today. Must medically qualify. Terms apply. Contact us for full offer details.
As a quarterback, you cannot run a winning play with a messy playbook. And most companies' data, well, it's a mess. AI is changing the game, but if your data is scattered, you're stuck on the sidelines. Brock Heward here, and this is where my friends at Marquee Data come in. They get your data in shape, clean, connected, ready to perform, so you can finally put AI to work for your business. Whether sales, finance, or operations, every smart move starts with the right data. So head to mydataqb.com to draw up your game-winning data play today. That's Marquee Data or mydataqb.com.
Luxury has arrived at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. Mike Salk here, and it's now open. Hawks Peak, the place to be for game days this football season, with over 66 TVs indoor and outdoor. Go to snocasino.com. Seattle's closest is Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel.
Tired of uneven heating, noisy systems, and high energy bills? The Quilt ductless heat pump from Home Comfort Alliance gives you room-by-room control and serious savings with every system, and every system qualifies for max tax credits. Call the comfort people at homecomfortalliance.com.
Brock and Salk's Rewind is presented by Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton.
He's Daniel Jeremiah.
I think he's really, really good.
And he's with Brock and Salk every week during the NFL season.
He could win an MVP.
Daniel's really smart. Daniel's probably the best in the business.
It's time for the Daniel Jeremiah Show, presented by Marquee Data.
Yes, it is our time with DJ every week, and now this will be the permanent time here moving forward, Tuesdays at 8:30, and I hope we have DJ. I hope he's recovered from seeing the Dodgers win. I know it had to be traumatic and awful, and the twists and turns. It was at least it was a great series, and that Game 7 was unbelievable.
Yeah, it was awesome series. It was great baseball, and I was in Nashville for the Chargers game, and it was getting kind of late at night, and that's why I think that God just shined down on me, because he got me to the point where he was like, "But wouldn't you like to go to bed?" And I was like, "You know what? Yep, I'm okay with them winning." That's what it took for me to be okay with the Dodgers winning. And then I was talking to somebody in baseball, and they had a great line, which was, "Yeah, I mean, the Warriors, Kevin Durant, like they're supposed to win. Like, don't be upset about that. Like that's
I can't even talk to you
stacked
today.
The deck.
I can't even talk to you today. If people are watching on video, it is so hard to talk to DJ today. I'm looking at him on video, and if you know DJ and if you watched this before, and you can always watch this on YouTube, and you know that DJ looks a little bit like Justin Thomas, the golfer. The shirt you're wearing today is like, no, not just any golf shirt. That is like Justin Thomas's wardrobe. Like you went in and rated it. That is as Justin Thomas's shirt as you could find. You're now just playing into it, right?
Well, I'll tell you this. I get to play Augusta next week.
Whoa.
I'm literally playing Augusta next week. So I'm trying to get my mind in a good golf frame of mind. So I'm wearing golf clothes. I'm thinking, I'm just trying to keep that vibe going. What? So I just had, my dad happened to have a friend who's lives down there and is a member down there, and he's asked me to do it like the last 3 years. And I've literally just started playing golf 3 years ago. And I'm like, I'm not good enough. And then finally, I was like, I don't know how many times I'm going to get offered this. I better accept it.
Better say yes.
So, yeah, it's going to be butt cold. It's going to be like in the high 30s, low 40s. I suck in 80-degree weather, so I don't know how that's going to work out.
What is butt cold?
Yeah. Well, 30s. I think you just heard it,
It's
Brock.
very cold.
I think you heard it. All right, let's talk some football. It's trade deadline day. There's a ton of cool stuff to discuss. Let me start here before we get to the trade deadline. How many Super Bowl contenders are there? We're almost halfway through the year. How many legitimate Super Bowl contenders are there in the NFL? And obviously the follow-up question to that will be, are the Seahawks one of them? But how many do you think there are?
Well, I'll answer the second part. Yes, the Seahawks are absolutely one of them. And I think I would say there's more this year, just because I don't think there's a team, this isn't a year where you're looking at a Chiefs team. We've seen them at times, be undefeated at this point in the year, or, even Philly's got off to some incredible starts and they looked a little bit like a juggernaut. I don't think we have that this year. So I would say there's anywhere from, 8 to 9, maybe even stretch it to 10. I think there's more this year than we wouldn't have in a normal year.
And the Seahawks in that grouping?
Oh, 1,000%. Yeah.
I've kind of had them as as a team that I thought's the most complete. And by the way, I know we have other stuff to cover and talking about trade deadline, but Brock, you got me so excited when you texted me this morning and about this whole top 7 Seahawks thing. And I want to layer beyond that, which I'm excited to get to. But
look at DJ. I just said, hey, heads up.
Gave me homework right before class started.
I said, we're just talking about most irreplaceable Seahawks. It may come up.
It's an old exercise. Yeah, Brock and I have done this exercise every year. Or I think I remember doing it all the way back, talking Earl Thomas at some point and saying, hey, he might be the most.
Zach Thomas or Zach Miller, the tight end.
Yeah.
We did it all the way back in 10 and 11.
Yeah, just look, because it takes into account not just how good the player is, but also what you have behind them, the importance of the position. Like, what would you do if you lost? All right, so did you sketch out a most irreplaceable
list? Did he do that? He did even more.
What'd you get?
I did this
Let's
first
compare
part
notes.
of it, and then I'm curious to see where we go, because it is a balance between that of what's behind him and how would you survive, the importance of the position. We used to do this in training camp every year when I was scouting. We would sit there and go through literally all 32 teams. And my buddy who I worked with for a while at NFL Network, he would do the exercise. He called it the Jenga piece. Like if you pulled this piece out, that the whole thing would collapse. So it's a great fun exercise. So I put down my 7, and it kind of, it's, I'm curious to see where you guys landed on it. But obviously I started with Sam because it's the quarterback and you start there. I went to JSN number 2. I went to Leonard Williams number 3. I went to his running mate Byron Murphy as number 4. I went with, and this is about the importance of the position as much as anything else, I went with Cross at number 5. And this is where it became challenging, because I had 4 guys for 2 spots. But I ended up going, for me, and I'm saying like this, to win a championship, I think you need these 2 guys, and you need these 2 guys to play at a high level. I went Eamon Warrior Spoon, who's my 6 and 7.
All right. Well, we start off similar, and then it changes quite a bit.
I had Zabel and Lucas were my next 2.
There you go.
Yeah, see, that's where we went. So, yeah, we both agreed on Sam and JSN. I had Cross 3rd, and Leo 4th, but Brock and I kind of talked through it. We're like, it could go either way. We kind of had them both in that range. And maybe the reasoning on Cross ahead of Leonard is just what you have behind him. Like, they got enough of a rotation at defensive line to survive short term without Leonard Williams. I don't know what happens if Charles Cross goes out. Like, I don't know what that looks like.
Oh, no, he got hurt. Joe Alt. No, he got hurt. Rashawn Slater. No, he got hurt.
Yeah, what happens?
Number 8 and 9.
Yeah.
With the Chargers right now.
I don't know what Josh Jones looks like in a game. I know that's the direction they'd go, but that would make me pretty nervous. It's interesting that you went with Murphy and Eamon Warrior Spoon. We've seen it without Eamon Warrior Spoon.
Yeah, but I to me, to get where you want to go, to get through the gauntlet, I think you need to have your guys that can play at a blue chip level, that can make difference making plays in those big games. And those guys, you can survive it's just like we've talked about it with the baseball thing, like there's the 162 player and then there's the playoff player. And I think when you get in the NFL playoffs, you need your difference makers. I think those guys can be major difference makers.
The one name, because we then had Zabel and DeMarcus Lawrence, because we saw what it looked like without DeMarcus, and it was not pretty. The one guy that I think we had on here that you did not mention at all is Ernest Jones. And just, again, some of that is what's the depth behind him. Seeing him.
And we watched this defense without linebackers for some years. We watched it even the first 7 games of last year without a linebacker that fit Mike McDonald, without the run fit, without the voice, without settling down the second level. And it was a little scary operation at times without a linebacker within this scheme and what Mike asks of it.
No, he's a really good player. I can't fight you on that one. I probably went a little more with the, traditional value of the position, and that's why you don't see the running backs on there. You don't see
why Byron Murphy over Jaron Reed? Out of curiosity.
To me, I just think he run and pass is such a difference maker, and I think he plays off Leonard so well. I think their skill sets match up so well with one another. So,
could you go into a little more depth? What does that mean to have their skill sets match up?
Well, I just think you've got Leonard, can be a bull. who is just so powerful and can be a bull and move guys around. And Byron Murphy can win on edges of blockers. Like he can use his quickness, and he can still leverage obviously underneath guys and those things. But I think it's like you've got kind of the big physical, bull, for lack of a better words, and you've got the quickness of Murphy to kind of play off of that. You want to run games, anything you want to do. I think they marry up very well together. Whereas Jaron, to me, is he's a lesser version of Leonard. Like they're similar, a little more similar in terms of physical structure and play style.
Did you get home in time to watch this game Sunday night? Because I know most of the time, you're busy and games on same time, and you're watching all the All-22 and the coaching tape afterwards. Do you actually get to watch and hear any of this Sunday night?
So we were on the plane, and the Wi-Fi was a little spotty. We were delayed for 2 hours getting out of Nashville because it's the air traffic controller stuff that's going on. But so we're up in the air, and there's one of the guys who works in the media who's on the plane is from the Washington D.C. area, and he's a huge Commanders fan. So I'm just sitting there. I think I'm watching an episode of like the morning show or something. I got nothing else I can do here, and he comes in and just like he holds up his phone. And he shows me Sam Darnold's line because he knows I'm a Sam Darnold guy. And it was the halftime line, and I was like, "Oh, I can't wait to go on the radio this week. This is fantastic." Yeah. And then watching the tape was really fun.
Yeah, let's go there. Take the tape next level. Everyone sees the numbers. Yeah. 17 first 17. Of course, it was a fade route that Salk and I love on 3rd and 1 that was incomplete. But take me through the tape from your perspective.
Yeah, to me the ball placement was as good as it's ever been. The decision making, the processing was so quick. There was a play on there where they go empty, and he gets to number 3 so fast in the progression that the first thing I wrote down was just vision, poise, and then I reluctantly put this down, but I was like, that's as peak Joe Burrow looking play as you'll see. What they would do with Burrow is they'll empty it out because he can see and process so fast. And I saw that, and I was like, that was kind of Burrow-esque, watching Sam get through that as fast as he did. But I thought the play design was excellent. He's accurate on the move. The touchdown, not the 7 route, not the easy layup to Horton, but the one where he threw it as he's just kind of got him on his back, and the trust to be able to get that out early in the back of the end zone and just put it right on his numbers. That just shows you a player who's playing with supreme confidence.
Have you followed any of this Greg Olsen commentary where he said the Seahawks aren't a good running team? They're a team that throws well out of heavy personnel. And I understand kind of what he's trying to say. That has been where a lot of their success has come. But I don't feel like that's like their goal necessarily, is to be a team that throws the ball all over the yard, but with heavy personnel. What would be your reaction to kind of the idea that that's what they are?
Every good team in the league right now is doing the same thing. They're all out there in heavy personnel, and that's where they're getting their chunk plays with their passing game. Like everybody's doing that. That's where you're trying to get your single high safety looks, which you can attack more vertically, and you do that by manipulating the defense with heavy looks. So that's not just a Seahawk thing. That's everybody across the league that's playing smart offense.
So is that a reaction, DJ? Is that a reaction to all of the too high safety that showed up the last few years?
Yeah, that's how you get them out of it. That's all we've seen. So you want to be out there in 11 personnel, 3 wide receivers. That's what you're going to see. You're going to see they're going to try and limit explosives. They're going to play shell coverage. And so what teams have now realized was, okay, we can get them out of that by formation. We're going to put extra tight ends out there, and we're going to simplify the looks, and we're going to let our guys win one-on-one in that when we get those looks. And so that's not just a Seahawk thing. That's across the league. By the way, you didn't let me get to my expanded
I'm sorry. Yeah,
area of this thing. So I want to go with your look at your list. Look at your list, guys.
All right.
So the 2024 champion, which was the Philadelphia Eagles, I'm going to give you their 7 guys from their Super Bowl lineup last year, and I want to see how you feel like the Seahawks stack up. You ready?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So with them, I wrote down Saquon, Lane Johnson. You can put Jalen Hurts in, wherever you want to slide him in. Jalen Carter, Quinion Mitchell, Zach Bond, A.J. Brown. So that's the 7 that I came up with. Within the 2 alternates that I gave you was Zabel, and I had Zabel and Lucas. And then for them, I'd put Devontae Smith and Mailata. So if you wanted to expand it to 9, you could expand it to 9. But how would you feel stacking up against a team that won the trophy last year?
Pretty good.
Not terrible.
Yeah, pretty good.
That's my point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I like a lot of their players. Don't get me wrong. I like Hurts a lot. I like Carter a lot. I mean,
But
obviously
go position
Lane
to
Johnson's
position.
really
Like
good. But
I mean, obviously Saquon is he's the X factor because I like the backs in Seattle, but there's nobody that's close to Saquon. But if you look at the Lane Johnson, I would give the edge, at the tackle position. But D tackle wise, that's a fair fight.
Yep.
Corner wise, receiver wise, I would lean JSN. Quarterback wise, I would lean towards Sam the way he's playing right now and what he can do.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's interesting to see if you think you have a championship level roster.
It's a fair fight.
Fair fight, absolutely.
Yeah.
They're not out of their weight class.
Last week I was mentioning just because the numbers are so similar between Stafford and Sam. I mean, Stafford's thrown a few more touchdowns. Sam's had a few more explosive plays, but similar systems, obviously similar backgrounds in that way. But Sam can never have Stafford's arm. Very few on planet Earth have Matthew Stafford's arm, even at nearly 40. But he can, that name you mentioned 5 minutes ago, Joe Burrow. Why can't, and what would be the gap that has to close physically, skill set, traits, everything between a Sam and a Joe Burrow?
It's just, I mean, if you read my reports on both guys, they would read eerily similar coming out of college. With similar strengths. I just think that Joe was drafted and put into a situation where they immediately put him in a spot to utilize his best trait, which is his mind, and follow that up with his accuracy. And they put him obviously with some premier weapons. But I think Sam has taken a while to navigate into a system that fits him that way and the right fit and all those things. But really, it's just Joe has, for the large part, avoided that one play that we talk about with Sam, on a weekly basis. So that would be kind of the one difference is getting that one out of your system.
All right, trade deadline stuff. We are a few hours away. Well, it's almost 9 o'clock, so 4 hours or so away from the trade deadline as we sit. Do you think
a move happened, by the way, while we were chatting? The Raiders moved their receiver to Jacksonville for a 4th and 6, Jacoby Myers.
Okay.
An hour ago, Jordan Schultz tweets that the two teams that could have a holy crap moment today are the Denver Broncos and the Seattle Seahawks.
So what does that look like? What would a holy crap moment look like for the
Trey
Seahawks?
Hendrickson is the only one that I can think of that would provide that.
Any chance Max Crosby goes?
I don't think so.
What I've heard is financially it is so prohibitive. It is so much of a cash outlay year to year to year that teams budgeting for that and planning that out, and the Seahawks having to pay younger guys, like that's just not going to.
So their holy crap moment would be at that point Trey Hendrickson.
I guess. I mean, that's the only one I can comprehend that would meet that criteria. I talked to a GM yesterday on the phone about something unrelated, and I said, "You got anything going on trade wise?" And he's like, "Yeah, but I mean, it's the player we're trying to trade sucks. I mean, what am I going to get for him? It's just, I mean, just as honest as can be, So he's like, what are we going to swap? I'm going to get a 6 for a 7, It's just he's a little unenthused about what was out there on the trade.
What about a receiver?
Provide
DJ, if you were to look at a receiver that maybe you've seen already this year, some of these teams that are selling, obviously the Raiders just sold. Cooper Kupp's got a hamstring. We know where he is at this stage of his career. Torrey Horton, every time he gets hit, I kind of hold my breath. I think some Seahawks brass does too. There's kind of been a brittle nature over the course of his career. Dynamic, been unbelievable. I mean, unreal for a 5th-round pick with 6 touchdowns combined. Is there a receiver that DJ has come across this year? Is there the Waddle guy out of Miami? Is there a move in that way that would be a holy crap move?
Yeah, I mean, everybody's talked about Olave as well. Would be fun out of the Saints, but Waddle would be the top of that list, the top tier of that list. I just didn't sound like they were going to do anything. I mean, that's putting a lot of faith in your interim general manager to make that decision. But
tell me about him. I remember him out of college.
Waddle?
Talk to me. Yeah.
Fast. But you can use him. He's not just a vertical guy, slant guy. You can use him on in breakers. Run after catch is going to be his specialty. Obviously with Tua, he's at his best with, hey, on time, get it on him, let him run with it. And I think Sam has those, similar play style traits in terms of just getting it on him so you can run with it.
We know JSN and Olave can work together. They did very effectively in college. What would it look like? How would someone like Jalen Waddle fit in with JSN and eventually Cooper Kupp and Torrey Horton?
I think he would be a beautiful compliment to him. I just think if nothing else, he would have value even if he didn't catch a ball, just because he's going to create so much space for everybody else, because you got to respect him and you got to respect his speed. So I think it'd be a fantastic compliment to what they have.
JSN, I mean, holy cow. It honestly
good.
Well, you know what it feels like in our market? We talked about this going into the year. We talked about it with our program director. Like, man, you move on from DK and like, do we have stars? Sports radio and obviously, marketing and everything else. These teams, you need stars. And here comes Cal Raleigh, right, who's got a legitimate shot to win the MVP and doing things never done before. JSN right now is on pace for over 2,000 receiving yards. Like he's becoming. I mean, is there not a almost Cal Raleigh metamorphosis to what we're seeing out of JSN?
Well, it's been fun to watch him just graduate from really, really good to like the elite status. I was watching him this last week, and I thought, what the underrated aspect of his game is his releases. And I did a project on this several years ago. I did a project, and I was just trying to study the top receivers, and I wanted to say who has the best release in the NFL. Who are those guys? Well, Devontae Adams was up there, but actually Doug Baldwin was unbelievable off the line of scrimmage. And I'm like, I know he's obviously on another planet as a player right now, JSN is, but Doug was so quick at getting off the line. I'm like, oh, it's kind of interesting how they did that. And then now they're just having fun. I mean, you're lining them up at running back, like just figuring out different ways where they can't get a game plan together for how to slow this guy down, but he wins every kind of way you can win.
Hey, can we all agree now, DJ, that Jacoby Brissett's just better than Kyler Murray?
I mean, I would. I don't know if that's a good Kobe Brissett line or a bad Kyler Murray line, but they both are apropos.
I mean, Jacoby Brissett's fine. Like to me, John Clayton always used to tell me and Brock that a good backup quarterback could win you 3 games and then probably lose you 3 games after that. And that kind of feels like what Jacoby Brissett is at this stage in his career. I like him. I think he's a good player. Probably not somebody you want starting 17 games a year for you. But, I mean, the evidence is pretty clear. When he plays for Arizona, they're better than when Kyler Murray plays.
Yeah, the offense it just hasn't been a good marriage. So, I mean, to me, we used to always talk about backups of, okay, can a guy get us out of a game? Can he get us out of a game, and can we survive for 3 games? And the more you see, the probably less you're going to like. And I'm sure that's probably going to be the case with Jacoby Brissett. You run him out there for 8 games, you're going to realize, okay, we got to get somebody better next year. But it just hadn't fit with this coaching staff. And I don't think Monty Otzenfort, the GM, was there when they picked Kyler or, paid him this last time. So I don't think there's a lot of allegiance there.
All right, that was Daniel Jeremiah, who, of course, joins us Tuesdays. We're back to Tuesdays at 8:30 now with DJ. I know it's been a little in flux here over the last couple of weeks and throughout the beginning of football season and the end of baseball season, so trying to find the exact right spot for DJ, but it is settling down now. Tuesdays at 8:30, and then, of course, Wednesdays, we end up talking to Joel Klatt, which we will do later today. And I do recommend watching the YouTube videos of Daniel Jeremiah because you can see just how much he looks like Justin Thomas, and especially with that shirt yesterday. I was right on. That is a Justin Thomas shirt. JT all the way. All right. Brock's coming in. We barely got to talk about Rashid Shaheed yesterday. It went down, with like 5, maybe 10 minutes left in the show. Brock was able to do some research last night. He was able to really kind of, figure out who he is, why he's here, what this looks like long term. I'm anxious to talk to Brock about it. We will do it next. It's Brock and Salk, Seattle Sports on 710 and SeattleSports.com.
Bump and Stacy, weekdays 10 to 2.
You and I got into a debate. They needed to make a statement. You were like, they're a good team that's kind of flown under the radar, but I think they like that.
To me, I use the word signature win. I guess you can't make a statement, but I like signature. I like that because signature win is all right, be the team you're supposed to beat, dominate this game. We want to feel like this game is over by halftime, and that's what they did.
Only on Seattle Sports on 710, Seattle Sports on YouTube, and the Seattle Sports app.
At 65 years old, Brian has a rather demanding hobby.
My biggest passion is snow skiing, and I ski between 70 and 80 days per year. And I ski instruct at a private resort in Montana.
Needless to say, that can be a bit tough on the joints.
When this knee started to bother me, I thought I'm doomed.
That's when Brian decided to see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine for stem cell therapy.
If I did yard work or skied a few days in a row, I was fighting swelling and pain and no sleep and all sorts of problems, and that has absolutely gone away.
So are you back on the slopes?
I mean, I had a 14-day stretch with clients where I skied every day and had no problem. It was fine. It was just like, I felt like new.
So I'm guessing you would recommend this to others.
Oh, I already have. I've told everyone that'll listen.
Whether it's a shoulder, hip, or knee, before you choose surgery, consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. Schedule your consultation at drmarkwagnermd.com.
It's really, truly a miracle.
Imagine all that could happen in 5 years. Jobs may change, kids will grow, new memes will come out, but also, what if you had reliable, intelligent Wi-Fi and the price didn't change for 5 years? Well, thanks to the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee, you actually don't have to worry about that part of your future. You're guaranteed 5 years of Wi-Fi that boosts speeds to your devices that need them the most, that finds and fixes any issues before you even notice them. It's like a super intelligent Wi-Fi that keeps you protected from threats online. Plus, well, you get incredible gaming speeds on multiple devices with no one battling for bandwidth. And for the next 5 years, all your devices will be working in perfect harmony. And you get our best equipment with no annual contracts, no fees, and no strings. So even though kids will grow up and you still won't understand 6, 7, your internet will stay sharp, reliable, and most importantly, the price will stay put. All with the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Xfinity, imagine that. Restrictions apply. Select plans only.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With the Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Whoa, it's you, the Capital One Bank guy.
That's what they call me.
Mind if I get a selfie?
Yeah, sure thing. Say no fees or minimums on your Capital One checking account.
Wow, that's a keeper. So, where are you heading?
I'm off to spread the good news that Capital One helps people keep more money in their wallet with no overdraft fees.
Oh, you're the best Capital One Bank guy.
Hey, mind if I get a selfie?
Sure.
Say, Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One NA, member FDIC.
I had a young woman who was on a new SUV, and she had attachments to her old car because it was her first car, and she had questions because she was doubling her spending budget, and she was very fiscally responsible. It was almost making her sick. And the best path at that point was to, let's stop for the night and you go home and take a breath. She came back in the morning and bought the car. She was way happier. These are major life accomplishments. You have the ability to afford at this tier. You've secured one of the major needs in your life. You should be feeling a tremendous amount of pride and respect for your accomplishments. I'm just grateful that we get to celebrate it with them, that we get to be part of it in that aspect of it.
The LJ way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
Hey, listen to this. All I needed was a new starter. Got a great deal on eBay. Did it myself.
Yeah, that's cool. But how about the soft purr of an upgraded exhaust when it fits just right?
For me, it's the little things, like these new windshield wipers from eBay I installed.
From small fixes to big upgrades, eBay has all the parts you need at prices you'll love, guaranteed to fit every time. eBay, things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Empower
Jen has ordered a decadent seafood tower, king crab legs, lobster tails, and a waterfall of caviar. Pricey? You bet. But Jen worked with Empower on her savings and investment strategy and planned for splurges like these. She got good at money, so she can be a little bad. Ooh, champagne. Empower. Invest well, live a little. Start today at empower.com.
Past performance is not indicative of future returns. Investing involves risk. You may lose money. Advisory services are provided for a fee by Empower Advisory Group, LLC, EAG, a registered investment advisor with the Securities and Exchange Commission. OMG, those shrimps are really jumbo.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
Give me a freaking auto!
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
Brock Ewert is my hero.
Jay Buhner just punched me in the kidney.
We're going to do you on the interview.
Doesn't really work that way, Sherm. This is a show that has my name on it.
It kind of does, though.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Ewert and Mike Salk.
Well, Brock, just as we were signing off yesterday, we learned that the Seahawks had made one of the bigger deals yesterday. Not as big as the deals the Jets were making. They were in big deal making mode, but probably in the next category, right below that, right? As the Seahawks make a deal for Rashid Shaheed, an ultra fast wide receiver. They give up a 4th and 5th round pick. What do we think? You've had some time now to think about it.
Well, do you want me to give you my 5 takeaways right now?
Oh my gosh, yes.
I mean,
I don't want to wait.
Are you sure?
I'm sure.
Okay.
Yeah, give me 5 takeaways right away.
Okay, I'll give you 5 takeaways that just over the course of the day of listening to people reached out. I know some of the folks on the New Orleans staff, so reached out to some of those fellas as well. I mean, first and foremost, speed never slumps. Right, our instant reaction when that came down was just that. I think you and I looking, right away, and obviously Mora's got some background in the fantasy football world. This guy's been highly productive, but you just look and he is ultra fast. Might be the fastest
guy in the NFL right now.
Well, he's got 2 of the fastest times. Remember, we talked about JSN hitting over 21 miles an hour in that game and being one of the fastest that weekend. That is one of the top 20 fastest times. This dude's got 2 of the others in the top 20. One on the pass and one on a run.
I thought he had number 1. I thought it was 22 miles an hour is number 1.
Well, he may have had number 1. I'm just saying volume-wise as well.
Got it.
He's had a couple of these that have been just absolutely top-notch. So speed kills, speed scares. We know what speed does to a defense. It's a threat. It's a home run ball. This guy at any time can just take it to the house and be a difference maker. So that's first and foremost. Number 2, then what does that do and how does that translate to this offense? Right? I mean, ultimately, that's great. You're a really, really fast guy. That didn't help New Orleans much with their quarterback situation and their line. Like, what does that mean here? That means when you're going to get in 12 personnel with 2 tight ends, he and JSN are on the field. And now, what is a defense going to do? Now, are you gonna roll the JSN? Now you're gonna have to play that cloud coverage. Now, all of a sudden, do you actually become more of a running team in big personnel? Kind of gives you that flexibility, right? Whereas right now, a lot of the teams are coming in, you put heavy personnel, and here comes single safety, and we're going to kind of make you throw it, and the Seahawks have made teams pay, Sam and JSN in particular. Well, now you're going to put him on the field too. Are you really going to allow both those guys one-on-ones, or are you going to now play some of that cloud coverage and just free up maybe some more of the access to the running game? So as much as he helps you in the passing game, we'll be very curious to study the tape and see how he handles and helps you in the run game. That's number 2. Number 3, the obvious is this adds depth and protects against some of the injury situation, right? Every time, I don't know about you, but I watch almost every time Torrey Horton gets hit, kind of hold your breath a little bit. Right? Now, he doesn't always get hit a lot because he scores a bunch of touchdowns, 5 of them, 13 of his catches. So 5 of his 13, he's not really taking a hit. He's in the end zone. But the other times I do. And maybe that's some of his history. That's some of the preseason where he got nicked up for a couple weeks. But just physically, he's not he's a lean dude. And I don't want to say brittle. That's not fair. He's very, very tough. But this protects against and hedges that bet against that, as it does for Cooper Kupp, to make sure that when that next hamstring or that next calf or that next, soft tissue injury, pops up with him, that you've got a little more protection than you did. As good as it looked Sunday night, this gives you more bona fide game-breaking protection. So there is 3. Number 4. And, oh, by the way, as well, just from a competitive standpoint, kind of like Torrey Horton having to compete as a rookie. Like I kind of like, hey man, don't get too big for your britches. Don't eat the big cake or the big slice or whatever KJ said, the big pie. Don't do any.
That's the big
meal.
I'd
get there eventually. Don't do any of that. No matter how good and productive you've been, this league will humble you. And I also just competitively and depth-wise don't mind that at all. Number 4, if Cooper Kupp elevated JSN's game, and by all accounts, and everyone around the building, and G in particular has talked about that and highlighted that, then what is this guy going to do for what is Cooper Kupp going to do for this guy? The refinement of those routes. Yeah, man, you can really, really run. You have elite physical traits. Now, look at what I'm doing with JSN, and let's take this game to the next level. And that has got to be a thrill for those guys and an excitement. And, another reason why if originally it was a 4th-round pick and some other teams came involved and you had to throw in a sweetener and a 5th-rounder to make sure he wasn't a Bronco or he wasn't a 49er or he wasn't somebody else, then good, sweeten the deal and get it done and get him here because his best football yet may be ahead. And then 5th and finally and lastly, in reaching out to people that I know in New Orleans, they seconded all of the words we heard yesterday. In the building, this dude is a great teammate, a great guy. Did not want to lose him, but where they are in their program and the final year of his deal, yeah, and maybe getting him back, like he'll be a free agent, total free agent after this season. But to get a 4th and 5th back in a lost season for them was something they couldn't turn down. But this had 0.0 to do with anything of him being disgruntled. And if anything, he is just a happy-go-lucky, lots of juice, great teammate, great guy, and that's now added to this.
He was just gruntled. No reason to be disgruntled for him in New Orleans. Yeah, Brock, I love that. Thank you for going through all of it. And I think I've heard some of the bits and pieces of that around, but I love the way you bring it all together and just show how many different ways this move made sense for the Seahawks. I like it. There's nothing not to like about it. I think that's probably the easiest thing to say. There's nothing here where you're like, oh, come on, this is a huge risk or this is a bad idea or anything like that. You're adding to a position of some strength, and you're doing it with a player that fits well and seems like a good guy, and you're not giving up all that much in order to get it. So no downside, and I love the insurance because it does make me think Cooper Kupp's injury may be more than just a 1-week deal. The only disappointment I have today, and it's not, as you might think, getting a really, really big name on the defensive side. I think, the defensive players that moved, Quinn Williams is somewhat redundant here. Sauce Gardner, just way too much to give up for a cornerback. No, thank you. It is surprising to me that they didn't find a guard.
Yeah, one lineman moved across the whole league. And that was Penning from New Orleans, who, again, this staff has had some background like they have with, Rashid. So if they wanted to have made that move.
It's still a bummer. Yeah. I mean, you look at the team and you just say, okay, I love that they added to this. It would have been cool if the right deal could have fallen in place for a guy who would have been a really dynamic, game-changing pass rusher or something like that. Okay, that wasn't really out there. It is a little too bad that they're just, now you got to roll with what you got on this offensive line. There's a lot of weakness there. You got to really hope that the competition and or just the ability to use what you've got and consistency there in order to make it better. But man, there are a lot of people like this move, and for lots of different good reasons. Let me see. I got a whole bunch of these for you. Let's try. Here's Pat McAfee, Brock. We were just talking about Pat McAfee.
Rashid Shaheed is so fast.
So good.
Speed kills matchups.
Always.
Is what every person
phase,
in the NFL says. Every phase. Special teams, defense, offense. If you have speed, can't coach it, first of all. Okay, you either got it or you don't. And you can have all the plans in the world for somebody. And if they just run around you and by you, there ain't you can do about it. And this is one of those types of guys. And now Sam Darnold, who's having an MVP year, has him on the opposite side of him somehow of JSN.
Yes, it does. It threatens you. No, by the way, just doing some math last night as well. JSN this year is making about $3.5 million when you throw in his prorated signing bonus. Torrey Horton's making about $1 million. You get this kid for $2 million on the the second half of the year was $4 million, and Cooper Kupp's about 17. So between those 4 guys, from a value standpoint, you're looking at about $23 million, which is $7 million less than DK.
Yeah, it did make me think about DK. Somebody texted and said, "Well, speed guy, so he's basically like bringing DK Metcalf back." No, I don't know if I really see it that way. I mean, obviously they're built differently. Yes, they're both fast. But I think what you're getting here is A, a completely different personality, B, a complementary piece as opposed to a piece that you really, need to continue to throw the ball in volume to. This should not decrease the number of targets or the success that JSN is having. If anything, it should improve that and increase that. And then I absolutely love the point about the run game. And I've heard you make it. I heard Mina Kimes make it. I heard Brady Henderson make it. We'll try to play some more of that sound over the course of the morning. But yeah, look, this whole idea of being good at running the ball or at throwing the ball out of a heavy personnel, that's fine. They are good at that. No one's doubting that. I still think they'd like to be able to run the ball pretty well out of that personnel, and if this or out of any personnel. And if this forces teams to, play a different type of coverage against them, maybe they want a little bit more too high safety. Okay, if you go too high safety, guess what we're going to do? We're going to throw with this guy in JSN, and if you want to drop one down, then we're going to run the ball, and if you drop one down, then we're going to use this guy. So I do think it should really help, right?
Yeah, I think the only question, truly, that we didn't get to in the first 10 minutes here is number 20.
It's weird. It is weird. It's like it's a scat back number. It is surprising. It's a third down backs number. I saw somebody say even that they used him out of the backfield some in. Maybe they do with that number. I don't know. If you want to be a speed wide receiver, I don't know how you put 22 on your back and hope that that's going to work. But hey, I'll wait and I'm going to give him some grace, Brock. Yes. He just got here, the poor guy. All right, let's come back. We'll give you guys everything you need to know. It's Brock and Salk here the day after the trade deadline with the Seahawks making moves. Seattle Sports on 710.
The Mike McDonald Show, the morning after every Seahawks game at 9:30 with Brock and Salk.
After the game, you called it a great win. What made it a great win?
Our vision of all three phases playing together, playing complementary football. I love how our guys are preparing, our mentality going into the games. When we took the lead, the guys weren't satisfied. They wanted to keep stacking scores and plays, and I was just really pleased with our mentality throughout the whole game.
Get the podcast on the Seattle Sports app and seattlesports.com.
Running a business means wearing multiple hats. So if you're like me, you probably started out using your personal phone, taking client calls and texts nonstop. As my business grew, I needed something smarter. That's when I switched to Quo, the #1 business phone system. Quo works right on your phone or computer. No carrying two phones, no clunky landline, just one easy app you can try for free. Your team can share one number and handle calls and texts together like a shared inbox. Any teammate can jump into the conversation so customers get faster responses. And Quo's AI agent can be set up in minutes to answer calls and questions 24/7, so you never miss a customer, lead, or opportunity. All this starts at just $15 a month. That's basically 2 coffees. Find out why 90,000 businesses trust Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports. That's quo.com/sports to try Quo free. QUO.com/SPORTS.
Mike's Western Suppliers and CL Western Apparel remind listeners many uniformed personnel and healthcare providers will spend this holiday season working hard to keep us safe. These heroic men and women spend long hours away from home, protecting our freedom and providing critical medical care. Please thank them for their many sacrifices and putting their lives on the line for us every day. Happy holidays to you and yours from the entire team at Mike's Western Suppliers and CL Western Apparel. Family owned and proudly serving our community for over 30 years.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With the Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our client's portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more, and then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow, maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
This is the home of the Seahawks.
Going to let one fly deep. Got a man out there. Ball is caught down at the 10-yard line, and it's JSN.
Seattle Sports.
Between his hobbies and decades of work in a boatyard, Philip had put his body through a lot.
I'm an avid fly fisherman and an avid skier. It takes its toll.
Not to mention one other thing.
I had a near-fatal motorcycle accident. Absolutely obliterated my lower left leg again.
Philip couldn't live with the pain anymore, so he decided to see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine for stem cell therapy.
Listening to all these radio spots, I said, what do I got to lose?
What was your experience like with Dr. Wagner?
What I was so impressed with Mark about is that how often you have a surgery like this, and the guy calls you the next day to see how you're doing. I can't say enough good things about the guy, honestly.
And how are you feeling now?
I have no pain, none. Zero.
Wow. So would you recommend stem cell therapy to others?
I'm a fan, believe me. I'd recommend it to anybody.
Before you choose surgery, consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. Schedule your consultation at drmarkwagnermd.com.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details. We know exactly what you're not thinking about right now. Wiper blades. But now that you are, take a moment to think about how Rain-X is the #1 brand of wiper blades in America. Why? Because Rain-X thinks about wiper blades all the time. We obsess, so you don't have to. Simply install our blades and then think about literally anything else. So choose Rain-X, America's #1 wiper blades, and then go back to not thinking about wiper blades. Rain-X. Outsmart the elements.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
All right, big move for the Seahawks yesterday. They got their squad now for the rest of the year. They bring in Saints receiver Rashid Shaheed for a 4th and 5th round pick in next year's draft. He is fast. Clocked in over 21 miles an hour on a long touchdown run this season, or touchdown pass rather. Fastest time, I believe, recorded so far this year by anyone in the NFL. He's also been not just fast, but productive. 49 yards per game in his 4-year career. That number has gone up the last couple of seasons as well, despite not really having a quarterback in New Orleans. He's supposed to be a really great dude, and as Dan Orlovsky notes here, Brock, he opens up a lot of different things for this offense.
I love this. Yeah. I think this is going to become the best play-action pass offense in the NFL. You can take the deep shot with 2 players now, and 3 if Horton continues to step forward. The intermediate pass game is going to be absolutely off the charts. You're going to have gashes from 10 to 25 yards down the field that you can absolutely eat up. Those tight ends are going to become even more productive and impactful than they have been. So I think in the AFC, the playoff race is going to come down to, can you get the quarterback on the ground, because we all know who they are. And the NFC, you got a firepower. It's about scoring and outscoring certain teams. I think this allows Seattle to do just that.
Yeah, it really has a kind of a parallel to what the Mariners did at their trade deadline of adding a good dude and adding just that pop, just that home run ability. I gave you the kind of the 5 different reasons there why I liked it. And just to add from a pure football perspective, just when you watch the tape, he is like JSN, a really fast guy that plays fast and never slows down. You watch a lot of receivers, Salk, through the high school to the college to the pro game. They may be track fast, but when they run, and DK was a power runner. This is not a slide on him. Slants and goes, all those things. You felt his Usain Bolt-like speed and power. These guys, Shaheed and JSN, they just in and out of their cuts and their movements and their double moves, right? And all those things.
It's not
they
just speed,
never
but quickness that goes with it.
Yeah, they just never slow down. They're able to cut at full speed, move at full speed, and man, is that threatening to a defense.
Well, Day also somewhat noteworthy for what they didn't do, right? Riq Woolen, Boye Mafe are both still here after a lot of conversation that either or both could be dealt before free agency. They were quiet on the linebacker front as well, so that's got to make you think that Ernest Jones is okay, and they're not overly worried about their depth at that position. So overall, good day for the Seahawks. Jets, the busiest team yesterday. They deal out defensive stars Sauce Gardner and Quinnen Williams. Man, they're going to be bad. I mean, they're already bad, but they're going to be really bad for now. But they do have 5 first-round picks over the course of the next 2 drafts.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
And the count is 2-2 on Langford. Pitch on the way, swing and a miss, and it's over. Munoz striking out Wyatt Langford. And the Mariners win a beauty this afternoon, 5-4.
One of many of those strikeouts, one of many of those games finished for Andres Munoz yesterday, Brock, and he'll be doing it again next year. Not a big surprise. Mariners made 2 very obvious moves yesterday. They pick up the incredibly team-friendly option on Andres Munoz. It was a $6 million option this year that increases to 7 if he had met the threshold for games finished, which I have to imagine he did. So let's say it's about a $4 million raise. They can renew it the next 2 years at $8 and $10 million apiece with that same $1 million kicker. I mean, they're eating up his arbitration year, so it's not like these are free agency years. It's not an absurd deal from his standpoint, but obviously very team-friendly for the Mariners. They also opted to decline the option on Mitch Garver. That would have cost them $12 million this year. I'm surprised they didn't want to do that for a backup catcher. It was a rough couple of years, man. He was expected to be the regular DH. He ends up demoted at backup catcher role. He did at least provide some level of value in his second season, but certainly not enough to justify that contract.
Nope. And I think on the open market, what would Andres Munoz be? Edwin Diaz opted out of his option that he had.
I mean, open market, he's probably an $18 million a year player, but he wouldn't be on the open market for 3 more years.
Correct.
Right? I mean, like, this would be arbitration year 1. He'd probably actually be getting less than that $7 million. He'd probably be getting closer to 3 or 4, and then next year he'd probably get somewhere around 10, and then they're really going to save money in the final year of the deal when he'd probably get somewhere in the 18 to 20 range, and instead, they're going to have him for
truly a win-win. I mean, truly a win-win.
Yeah,
a win for the organization, a win for a great guy, and those are kind of people you like to see win-wins for.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
First college football playoff ranking came out last night, Brock. UW, number 23, 1 spot ahead of where the AP has them, and obviously puts them in the mix for one of the 12 spots at the end of the year. You got to beat Oregon.
You do, and you'll like Blue 88. I spent a little time looking at last year's first initial ranking just to kind of see what does the first ranking really mean. What is the month of November that everybody remembers? What really happens and typically transpires? And if you're a Husky fan, you're going to want to listen to Blue 88.
That's coming up about 20 minutes from now. They got Wisconsin this weekend. Kraken back in the ice tonight against San Jose at home. Cool story, Brock, if you have a minute on ESPN.com. Greg Wyshynski wrote about Joey Decord using virtual reality to practice. He's got the goggles. And not even just between games, but sometimes even between periods, especially if he's having kind of a slow game.
I tried those. Cool. You ever tried those?
No.
Oh, I
not
tried.
Really.
Actually, my friends down there at PCF Construction, right down there in Kent, awesome little place.
They use that?
They do. So you can put them on and you can see, hey, this is actually what your space will look like. This is what we can do. Here's your deck. Here's this. And I had to take them off.
Yeah.
I think it's my wide set eyes. They just didn't fit, right? Like, it just doesn't fit real well. And I got so dizzy. I was like, I don't know what it is. I just the mix of
For the right
colorblindness.
person, though, it seems to work great.
Oh, yeah, you'll see QBs do it, right?
Yeah.
Jaden Daniels has done some of that. Our guy, Milrose, did some of that at Alabama. It's a big thing for David Shaw and Andrew Luck at Stanford.
That's
so
cool. The idea of a
you've seen it work
goalie
for
using
some.
it's kind of cool, and the idea of him throwing it on between periods is fun. That's everything you need to know. Quarter past every hour on the Brock and Salk Show. Joel Klatt at 8:30. As Brock said, that Blue 88 coming up in about 20. Let me start by saying, Facebook is the dumbest thing in the world right now. It really is. No,
Michael,
it is. Have you been on Facebook recently?
Michael, you say some of these things. Why don't you test this during the break with us?
Brock, have you been on?
I think I'm going to go with
Facebook
this.
recently? Seriously,
I've never been on Facebook.
really?
Not once in my
All
life.
right, so like the idea of Facebook's a great idea. Like the 2004 version of Facebook is like the greatest idea. Keep up with your friends. Everybody posts their pictures. Here's what I'm up to. This is kind of fun. You passively kind of communicate with people that you like, but don't need to talk to, text with all the time anyway. It's a great idea. I love the idea of Facebook. 2004.
All right.
Maybe even a little later than that, 2007 or 8, whenever it was that Facebook sort of first came around. Love the idea. The current version of Facebook, especially in the post-AI world, is the craziest hodgepodge of completely made-up garbage you've ever seen. Like, you can't even go on there. Everything on there is fake. Everything. It's horrendous. But I did see something that kind of made me laugh, and I think it's real. Maura, you would probably know. Why are you giving me that look? You're giving me a look like I'm about to say something wrong.
Was it the big person on the zip line?
Facebook. Well, that's a good point. I shouldn't be, but occasionally I'll get like a message there or something like that.
Is this the Tom Brady thing?
No, that's weird too. No, this is. Have you seen the?
Is it the big person on the zip line
No.
that makes the whole zip line burst?
That.
No,
It's not that. No, for all of those reels and stuff, I'll go through Instagram. I'm not cool enough for TikTok, so I stay with the Instagram reels for all that humor. But no, this was DeMarcus Lawrence talking to the ref. It's actually, I think, the line judge after his celebration. Have you seen any of that? It's pretty funny. I think it's real, but it's on Facebook, so my assumption is it's fake. But he's talking to the ref about like his 2 pumps, and he's like, I think I'm okay as long as it's only 2 pumps. And the ref's like, look, I'm okay with whatever you want to do, but try to get it lower rather than higher. So the ref starts trying to do the same little swirling hip thrust motion. It's hilarious. I don't know if it's real or not. And again, I assume if it's on
Feels
Facebook,
fake.
it's fake.
Feels fake.
It doesn't look fake. Actually, I think it's real. So I don't know. It just kind of made me laugh. It just for all of the talk about how, he's like a really,
Lyle, are you on
serious
Facebook?
man. No way.
Lyle, you on Facebook?
No.
No. Nor should you be.
When I was in middle school, but people moved away from that.
I know it's a Key and Peele bit. That's not the thing I'm talking about. I've seen the Key and Peele bit.
Keegan-Michael Key made a video defending Rico Dowdle this weekend because he's like, you only did 2. You got shorted.
Right. No,
I
this
didn't
isn't
know.
that.
When did DeMarcus Lawrence do it?
I don't know. You'll have to watch the video. And now because Facebook is such a pit, it's like disappeared from my feed. So God knows if I could ever find it again. The whole thing is absurd. What an absolute garbage platform that is. And it's not like Twitter or anything else is much better, but it really is complete and total garbage. But I did happen to see this, and it made me laugh. So maybe you guys can find it. I don't know. I'll see if I can do some searching here in the break. All right, Brock. Coming up, I think we know that the Seahawks are good right now.
Mm-hmm.
Do we really know who they are? Do we really know why? It's next on Brock and Salk.
Wyman and Bob.
Is this like a signature win?
Every afternoon at 2.
To try to get people to believe in this team. They just cruised the entire way.
While I think it's an impressive win, I wouldn't call it a signature win based on the opponent. To me, a signature win is beat the Rams. Beat a team, especially in your division, that's really good record-wise. That's what I would title a signature win. If they beat the Rams, that's the best opponent they've got in like the next 5 games.
Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton, only on Seattle Sports.
Hey, it's Mike Salk here. You know what you're doing yet this weekend? Let's talk about something real since we were just talking about stuff that's fake. How about heading to Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel? Book now for an unforgettable experience. It really is a blast. Everything they've done is so nice. The expanded non-smoking gaming floor, the beautiful hotel area. The rooms are awesome. The big 2,000-seat entertainment space and convention center, the spa, all of it. And then, oh my gosh, the whole new restaurant, 60-plus TVs, great sports bar, indoor, outdoor, the whole thing. You want more? Find out more at snocasino.com. Seattle's closest is now Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel.
Hi, I'm Dylan, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. As a customer service specialist, I love helping couples find their dream engagement ring. And guess what? I just got engaged, so it was fun to create one myself. First, my fiance tried on a bunch of ring styles and she was drawn to a classic diamond pave setting. Then we looked at different diamond shapes from pear to oval to cushion. She fell in love with the princess cut. At Shane Company, you can create a one-of-a-kind ring and get it in days, not weeks. Because a friend wants you to have a magical holiday proposal. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
Hey, it's Bob Stelton here, and I can see clearly now. It's amazing. Let me tell you about one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. That's when I went to K2 Vision for a refractive lens exchange, or RLE. Dr. Kopstein started K2 Vision with Dr. King from King LASIK, the most experienced LASIK surgeon in the Northwest. King LASIK plus K2 Vision equals freedom vision for every stage of life. No glasses, contacts, readers, or cataracts. So if you're somebody that struggles with distance vision and now you always need a pair of reading glasses, K2 Vision RLE could be your perfect permanent solution to spending your good active years not needing reading glasses. And here's the capper. You're never going to develop a cataract. I'm somebody that needed readers in every room of the house. I needed to see the scoreboard out at ball games. I just couldn't see clearly. That has all changed thanks to RLE. Whether it's LASIK, EVO ICL, or RLE, trust the most experienced team of doctors to point you in the right direction. Schedule your free Zoom consultation today at K2VisionRLE.com. That's K2VisionRLE.com.
Guys, want long-term health you can count on? It starts with knowing your numbers. Right now, Revive Men's Health Washington is offering a comprehensive wellness panel, a $400 value for just $99. It checks your testosterone, blood sugar, cholesterol, kidney, liver, thyroid, and heart health. Take control of your health today and stay strong for the long haul. Offer ends November 30th. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com today. Must medically qualify. Terms apply. Contact us for full offer details.
Want more Seahawks content? Join me, G. Scott, on The Reset. New episodes of the podcast every Monday and Thursday on YouTube or on the Seattle Sports app.
Eric Johnson here. I spent the past 30 years working to help make our community better informed, better protected when it comes to consumer issues, and better equipped to take on whatever life throws at us. That's why I love the free Washington Accident book series from Davis Law Group. These books keep us better informed about the law, better able to protect ourselves on and off the road, and better off when all is said and done after an accident. Chris Davis didn't have to write these books. He did it because he saw a need. People who were in accidents or other legal situations didn't know what to do, what pictures to take, documents to request. Only a tiny fraction of the people who get these free books will ever become clients of Davis Law Group, but that's not the point. Chris wrote them because it was the right thing to do. The free Washington Accident book series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the road might throw at them. Get yours at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
Dave Wyman here, and we've been fortunate to hear from two Swedish CyberKnife patients this year, Andy Ryder and Tim Hunter. Both heard about CyberKnife from our radio ads and completed successful treatment, raving about their experiences. Tim was impressed that treatment only took 5 days. Andy hosted a large international delegation the week after his treatment. If you, a friend, or a family member is diagnosed with prostate cancer, consider treatment with Swedish CyberKnife here in Seattle. Go to swedish.org/CyberKnifeProstate.
It's game time, and Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota Renton are lining up with a roster that's built to dominate the field. The gas-powered RAV4, built to power through every drive, rain or shine. Or switch up the play with the hybrid RAV4, versatile, efficient, and always moving the chains. The Tacoma, tough, dependable, and clutch when it counts. And now, taking the field, the all-new 2026 Toyota Tundra, redesigned, powerful, and built for the big moments. Whether you're in the north or the south, Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton have your winning ride. Visit ToyotaofKirkland.com and ToyotaofRenton.com.
O'Reilly
This hour of the Brock and Salk Show is powered by Star Rentals, preferred supplier to the West's best contractors.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
You know, Brock, you were trying to give me grief and saying that I needed to, run some of this stuff by you first. Just looking at the text line, I think people may be more enamored with my take on Facebook than anything else I've said in the last few years. Salk is so right about Facebook, 100%. Salk, absolutely right about Facebook. Yes, that's a 2004 version was great. Current version is horrendous. You're right. I mean, I'm right. You're right because I'm right. And apparently this video is real of DeMarcus Lawrence and the line judge. It's pretty funny. I guess the Seahawks posted it on their Twitter and everywhere else. For whatever reason, I ran into it on Facebook, which is sad.
What was your take last week? Last week you had a take, too, that was renowned.
What was that? It's a good point.
Remember.
Yeah, Lyle, what did I say last week that everybody agreed with? What was that? It was some other life thing about life. It definitely wasn't about sports.
It's pretty inane, right? Is that the word I was looking for?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. It was trivial. Trivial and inane, but everybody seemed to love it. They were right on top of it. The text toy will probably remind us what that was also, because obviously I don't remember. So if the Seahawks are, Brock, as Chris Collinsworth suggested, and as DJ, I think, kind of agreed on yesterday, one of the he said Super Bowl favorites, which I thought was that's a lot, but hey, Eric Edholm has them as the #1 team in the league right now in his power rankings.
Have you looked at your guy from New York City, his rankings lately?
I haven't. I should go back and check that guy. What's that guy's name?
Stricker?
No, that's not it. I'll figure out who that is.
Popolinsky?
It was somebody on Fox. It was like your guy, Brock. No, this is Cowherd.
Number 4.
Seattle just added a deep threat from the Saints. That win over Washington looked like Ohio State and Youngstown State. That was a physical, athletic mismatch. 4-0 on the road, won their last 10 road games. Sam Darnold, advanced metrics, he's the best quarterback in the league this year. I'm not joking. PFF has them #1, too. Their defense is young and getting better. 3 straight games holding people under 20. They are young, but they have an identity. Green Bay's young and doesn't have an identity. I like Seattle and Darnold at 4.
Number 4. So, look, if you're the 4th team in the league, you are one of the contenders. Number 1. Number 4, the worst we've seen them at is number 9. They're in contending world. I don't know about Super Bowl favorite. That might be a stretch. But the more I, kind of start thinking about them, okay, so they're a Super Bowl contender. Do we know enough about them? Like, if they are a contender, do we really know enough about this team yet? As their biggest champions, as the people that talk about them nearly every day, there's kind of 3 things I would like to know more about: their personality, their identity, and the reasons they're so successful. And I'm sure all of these things are mixed together. And Colin mentioned the identity there. If you're looking for a really nice piece on their identity, Hawk blogger Brian Nemhauser wrote a great piece maybe late last week, because I think it was before the Washington game, on them really discovering and attacking their identity in a great way. It's a long piece, but I finally had time to read through it last night. I really liked it. It's worth some time. And some of what I said here, I think you'll hear echoed in his piece as well. But personality-wise, I think that's one of the reasons I kind of brought up that DeMarcus Lawrence clip with the line judge. They seem kind of fun. Kind of transparent, open, honest, a lot of trust between them. We had heard a little bit about this, but Brian went into greater detail with those walk and talks around Lake Washington, where the coach would send out, sort of like what Scott Service did a few years ago with his meetings in spring training. He would send out 2 guys at a time to just go walk around together and get to know each other better. And and it wasn't just like 2 corners or 2 safety. No, it was a safety and an offensive line, groups that don't mix. And they really do seem to think that by the end of all that and a couple of other things the coach has done, they really do have a sense of love and trust for each other.
Why you got to go Scott Service? Because remember the Titans. Okay?
That too, absolutely.
Geez, yeah, go back to Coach Boone in the Wayback Machine.
It's true.
Bringing those guys together. So can you define?
Don't you take out my son?
Can you define? If you tried to define their personality in a sentence, what would it be?
I think that's hard for me to give, Brock. I'm not in the. I'm not
You're
a
the
reporter.
personality.
I'm not
You're not
around
a personality guy.
No, I
You're
just think
more
we're
of
not
a, You're
around
more of a
them.
thoughtful guy.
I
You're
think
more of
we're
an
just not
intellectual
around
guy.
them closely enough to be able to really talk about it. But that's what I got from Brian's piece, and he's down there every day. I'm not down there every day. I don't think it's fair. I would be guessing. But from the outside, as I said, they feel kind of fun-loving, open, honest, trusting with each other. And I think that's enough. I mean, that certainly if we were making comparisons to the Legion of Boom, while they had very strong ties to each other.
Loud.
But it was loud and brash and debating and noisy. This isn't that. This feels to be, I don't know, kind of fun-loving.
Yeah, and I think a big emphasis that the Mike made in his time, and that piece was really good by Brian, and goes into great detail, the lengths that the staff went to and Mike went to really get on the same page with John Schneider of how, hey, this is how I really want this thing to look and feel and build it in my image. And in talking to John as I have over the last 12 months, I think that's one of the things that's blown him away about Mike is while he's humble and while he's vulnerable and while he takes all the blame, man, he is very clear. This is what I want. This is what I need. And it's very concise. It's very to the point. It's borderline blunt. And he's really, personality-wise, kind of shaped it with a lot of guys that aren't necessarily his personality, but exactly the kind of personalities he wants with every oar in the water together.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with all of that except for the use of the word almost. What did you say? Almost blunt or borderline blunt? There's nothing borderline about it. I think he's just pretty blunt. Let's say it bluntly because that's what he is. He is blunt. But this team feels a little bit more just kind of fun-loving. And I've enjoyed kind of getting to see from the outside what their personality might turn into. Identity-wise, and this is obviously the biggest of the three, I don't have the right word for it. And Brian kind of goes back and forth between explaining what their offensive identity is and what their defensive identity is. And I think that's a great exercise. Ultimately, what it leads me back to is Mike McDonald's word of complementary. They complement each other well. The offense and defense complement each other well. It's all building towards the same thing. They're a physical team. Maybe that's simple. It's fast. It's physical. I think every team wants to be fast and physical. But they seem to have a good sense of how to use the run game and pass game together to make their offense what they want it to be. It's not one or the other. It's one and the other. Same seems to be true on defense where they're using the positions and some of the amorphous nature of it to really complement. The front complements the back and vice versa. Everything, I know you like the word alignment, Brock. Mike seems to use the word complementary. Whatever word you want to use for it, it feels like that sort of cohesion is at the root of their identity.
Yeah, and I would add an element over the last year or so in just kind of watching them. And again, this is a little bit of doing the coaching thing of trying to implement schemes and systems and what fits best with your players. What did McDonald say quite frequently last year that he's less of this year? Is it methodologies versus systems, or do you remember
principles? I think.
Principles versus methods, right? Principles are, this is kind of big picture of who we are, from a principle, but then we're going to tweak it and we're going to make this little adjustment here and this, little. I would say, Salk, identity wise, this is a high football IQ crew now that's got deep institutional knowledge on both sides of the ball. Mike is well versed in this thing, a decade into exactly the kind of system he wants to run. Do you tweak it? Do you change it? Are there little methodologies? Sure, absolutely. But man, this is his deal. And Kubiak the same way for the last decade plus in this league. Like this is a high football IQ. I mean, to do what they do as well as they do it, and it may look, kind of simple, or the picture doesn't look like it changes all that much. It is, and it's a lot. And these guys have bought into it. Beat system. I think offensively and defensively, they weren't the most voluminous. Like we do what we do, and you got to deal with us, and that's a great way to do it too. The Dolphins defense did that in the '90s, and the Cowboys played quarters, and the no-fly zone going to press you up, man. Like that's an awesome way to do it if you've got the capability of and the skill set that can be that dominant. But if you don't, man, you better have some high football IQ stuff, and they got that going on as well.
So then to bring all of this back around to the trade deadline and the moves made yesterday, and this is not just me saying this. You said it, Brock. Brady said it. Mina said it. I mean, you kind of go on and on with everybody who talked through what having another fast, deep threat in Rashid Shaheed does, not just for their passing game, but for their running game to open things up. One of the reasons they're so successful does seem to look, they're talented. Let's start there. They have a lot of talent on the team. They've drafted really well. They're a talented team. Colin's right. When it did look like Ohio State versus Youngstown State, great. Their scheme is great. Mike McDonald knows what he's doing. Clint Kubiak knows what he's doing. And maybe more than anything, they're in alignment with each other on what they want to get out of, each possession and over the course of a game. But this little game that they're playing with defenses right now seems to be very effective. And I want to come back to Daniel Jeremiah yesterday, because when we asked him about Greg Olsen saying that the Seahawks are a passing team out of heavy personnel, he kind of took that and made it a much wider conversation.
Every good team in the league right now is doing the same thing. They're all out there in heavy personnel, and that's where they're getting their chunk plays with their passing game. Like, everybody's doing that. That's where you're trying to get your single high safety looks, which you can attack more vertically, and you do that by manipulating the defense with heavy looks. So that's not just a Seahawk thing. That's everybody across the league that's playing smart offenses.
So I asked him to clarify, is that sort of the reaction to the two high safety looks that seem to have taken down Patrick Mahomes and some of these high flying passing offenses in the last few years?
That's how you get them out of it. That's all we've seen. So you want to be out there in 11 personnel, 3 wide receivers. That's what you're going to see. You're going to see they're going to try and limit explosives. They're going to play shell coverage. And so what teams have now realized was, okay, we can get them out of that by formation. We're going to put extra tight ends out there, and we're going to simplify the looks, and we're going to let our guys win one-on-one in that when we get those looks. And so that's not just a Seahawk thing. That's across the league.
It's a Rams thing, right? And they've done it, and they took a tight end pretty high in the draft, and Terrence Ferguson, that's a good player. It's what the Niners have done for a lot of years. Kittle the epicenter of that, but obviously their fullback and their other tight ends have played a role in that. Yeah, it's what kind of this system, when you've got the horses to do it and the firepower to do it, and then the guys that can win those one-on-one, Salk, and not just win them. This isn't just win and fall down. Right? This is win and house call. This is win and break a tackle, and it's chunk play after chunk play after chunk play. And oh, by the way, this is also a crew that, I can't reiterate this enough, through 8 games has been sacked 9 times.
It's pretty amazing.
There is no single bigger differentiator in this scheme and this system this year than the last 15 years of who they are.
You know what it strikes me as it strikes me as just keeping it very simple. And I know it's not simple, right? There's a lot of complexity to the calls and the scheme and all of it, but it boiled down to its simplest form. Okay, well, whatever you're going to do, we're going to play the opposite. We're going to just make it harder on you. If you want to go with big people on your side, we're going to throw it over them. And if you want to go with smaller people to protect against that, then we're going to run you over. And we're equally capable of doing both of those things.
Biggest differences between the college game and the pro game. Because college game, in many places, this is what we do. This is who we are. We're going to be a spread team, and we're going to spread you out, and we're going to run our system. And especially in the transactional nature of it now, where you don't have the amount of time that the Seahawks have in April, May, June, and July to work together, and it's like it is pretty simple, and keep it pretty simple. The NFL, you better be able to adjust. You better be able to take advantage of what that defense is doing against you and taking away, and have all the tools and the resources to win those matchups. And through 8 games, they certainly are.
This is Brock and Salk's Blue 88, powered by Xfinity.
We're going to go red, right, tight, close, sprint left, G, U corner, halfback, flat, on one. Ready?
Brock Eward tackles 3 football questions as only he can.
Blue 88.
Now here's your hosts, Brock Eward and Mike Salk.
All right, trade deadline yesterday, Brock. We talked a lot about what the Seahawks did. Overall, what was your big takeaway?
Just a massive amount of action. The most this century. Right, looking at the total number of trades, I think it was 27 players were the total number of players moved, but it was 13 pretty significant deals on deadline day. What the Cowboys did, what the Jets did, teams just, what the Dolphins have done, just saying, we're out. New Orleans, like, we're out. I'm going to throw my chips in, and you know what? This is a lost season. I'm not going to fake the funk or try to pretend any other way. We're going to try to, do the baseball thing and truly rebuild and get enough resources if you're the Jets over the next couple years of multiple first rounders and second rounders to try to, add significant impact to your roster. So it was by far the most active trade deadline that we have seen, as I said, over the last 25 years with all that movement. And I think it's yet again another good thing for the NFL. Not that they need even more good in their marketing world, in their calendar, but now if you add this kind of mid-season to what they do in the offseason and what they do at the draft and what they do with the combine and what they do with the OTAs and what it is yet another tentpole, right? Just another one of those things to look forward to in the NFL schedule. And yesterday is big as it gets for the league.
All right, question number 2. I have sort of an off-the-board question for you for 3, Brock, so I'm sorry. I got to take away your Burrow comp. But Huskies, number 20, I know you did some research on this. Huskies 23rd in the first CFP rankings. Is there a path to the top 12?
There is. At this time, 1 year ago, in the very first initial rankings, where were the Clemson Tigers, who ended up being ACC champs and ended up getting the playoffs? Clemson Tigers were exactly 23. Where were Lyle Goldstein's Arizona State Sun Devils? Where were the ASU Kenny Dillingham-led Sun Devils with the first college football rankings last year? Lyle, you remember? You remember where they were?
Were they unranked?
That's right. They were not in the top 25. So is there a pathway to, when you start at 23, or even if you're ASU and you're a little bit outside, is there still a pathway in? There is. Yes, there is. And especially with their schedule, with the Husky schedule, with going to Wisconsin, and they are favored this week, and we'll do a little Washington Wednesday at 9 o'clock. And then obviously Purdue at home, struggle bus, first year that whole operation there at the bottom of the Big Ten. UCLA got a little bit of life with new Heisel calling plays, and Nico's a dangerous quarterback, and there's no gimme whatsoever, and that's not been a great place for the Huskies, the Rose Bowl, in the regular season to play over the last couple decades. So there's no gimmies. But it's not at Ohio State. It's not at Michigan. It's not at USC. It's not even at Oregon, because you get the Ducks in your building. So this thing sets up that if they were to run the table, I'd be hard-pressed to believe that they wouldn't be in the top 12. Hard to do? Absolutely. Do I think they're going to make that happen? Probably not. But is there a possibility of it with where they sit in these first rankings? Yes, there is.
All right, question number 3. And this is it was going to be a deeper conversation at 8 o'clock, but I think we've got some new stuff that we've got to get to there, Brock.
Yes,
so
we do. Let me see a little baseball.
Baseball fans, I think, a Mariner fan, you want to hear this coming up in 10 minutes. This is potentially gigantic. So let me ask you this, Brock. What's going on with the starting quarterback situation in Arizona? Because I got some cuts for you that I wanted to play.
Oh, really?
This was Jonathan Gannon on our sister station, Arizona Sports Station. That's ASS, the Arizona Sports Station. Asked if it was safe to say that Jacoby Brissett would start this week regardless of Kyler's health.
Is it safe to say that the way that Jacoby Brissett has been playing, that even if Kyler was healthy, that you still would have came to this same conclusion?
Yeah, I mean, it's a hypothetical to me, but yeah, I like where we're at right now with the offense moving forward.
Not a great sign for Mr. Kyler Murray. By the way,
look at Gambo.
Jonathan Gannon and Gambo talking to each other has to be... I gotta go listen to one of those interviews. Those are two totally insane people talking to each other.
Just beautiful.
Gotta be insane.
Guy's fighting for his livelihood, Salk. It was the best point you made yesterday. Not a name, not, like your Facebook take. And
nobody seems to remember
your dog take. I think it was your dog take.
Oh, the Saluki take.
I think it was the Saluki.
Yeah,
I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. My memory just hit me right there.
The sound Saluki over there.
Yes. Yep. You made the point yesterday. If you're Jonathan Gannon and you're this young staff and he's hired a lot of young people, you feel responsible for them and their jobs in this league. And if your job is on the line, and it is on the line, and you're number 3, are you going to play Kyler Murray or are you going to play Jacoby Brissett? You can play the veteran that just distributes the ball and gets it out of his hands.
You're going to play the guy who doesn't suck.
No, Jacoby's older than Kyler.
Yeah, but Kyler's not a rookie. He's on his second contract, and he's like 3 years into it. What are we talking about? And I thought this was interesting, too. This is Trey McBride, their tight end, asked about Jacoby Brissett pregame, or postgame, rather. He's talking about Brissett, but it sure feels like he's talking about Kyler Murray.
Jacoby's a real pro. He's a guy who does everything the right way. He,
does everything during the week, watches all the film, does everything the right way. And I think one thing that Jacoby does is he keeps us calm, he keeps us poised in the huddle, and he really gives us confidence. He's going to talk to everybody. He's going to tell us how he's feeling, what he wants us to do, and he's going to trust his guys. He's going to give us chances. He's going to, throw us the ball when we're covered. And I think the main thing about him is he's prepared. Whether he's going to back up the starter, he prepares the same way. And I feel so confident going into a game with Jacoby. He does everything the right way. He knows how to deliver the balls to the guys. And most importantly, he's just a great person, and I love playing for him.
Literally can't stop gushing over him.
Can't stop talking, yes.
I mean, doesn't it? Look, I don't know what's
Literally,
in
he's a pro.
mind.
He's a pro.
Yeah,
and
everything that the other guy's not.
That's right.
Also, when he throws the ball to me, it comes to me as opposed to like 8 feet away. Yeah, I'll
By
take
the
this
way,
guy, thanks.
I do know the
That's
address
today's
to the
Blue
high
88.
road. I do know the address to the high road, so I'm not going to reach out to some people there that tried to get after me.
Mhm.
Meanwhile,
I'll get after them before you want me to talk about them.
Jeez.
I'm happy to talk. I don't have the address to that high road. It's certainly not when it comes to people that were rude to you, although it's gotten me in trouble in the past.
That guy tried to end me.
Yeah, he tried to get you fired.
Yes?
Yeah, that's dumb.
Yeah.
Over Kyler Murray. If you're going to go to bat for somebody, make sure you're going to bat for the right guy. Let that be you want another life lesson? That's Blue 88.
Lyle,
Let that be
you want a life lesson from
Lyle,
Salk?
if you're going to go to bat for somebody and risk your own, credibility / get yourself into trouble.
Reputation.
Yeah, reputation. Make sure you're doing it for the right person. Don't do it for Kyler Murray. There's no upside there. If you're going to do it for the right person.
Yeah, like Kyle Tucker. Anyway, speaking of Kyler Murray,
yeah.
Do we make anything? I'm going to put my tinfoil hat on here.
Ooh.
Do we make of anything that he's now got a 4 to 8 week recovery 9 days before the new Call of Duty Black Ops 7 comes out?
Oh, I hadn't thought about that. Kyler's going to be, he's very busy. There's a lot of hard work to do to make sure he masters that sucker. All right. Well, we do have something huge, potentially huge.
This wasn't even the sound hound.
No.
Sniffing around for sound. This is
in writing. This is in
data.
writing. So I'm going to read you guys something here in a minute from Buster Olney. So as credible a source as you could find. I'm going to read you something from Buster Olney's latest news and notes column / piece that he has up at ESPN.com. And if you're a Mariner fan, this could drive conversation for the next 2 or 3 months. It's next on Brock and Salk.
It's the Hawks Player Spotlight.
Tight end A.J. Barner is with us. How are you, man?
Doing well. Good to be on here.
Brought to you by Three Tree Roofing.
The rookie on this O-line, Gray Zabel, is with us.
Sam is an elite quarterback.
Going deep with a different Hawks player every day at 3:30 with Wyman and Bob on Seattle Sports.
Every time he walks into a huddle, we know we got a chance for a big play.
Nick Emanwari is with us.
I felt good physically going into the game.
Catch up on every Hawks Spotlight on Seattle Sports on YouTube and the Seattle Sports app.
What if you could have reliable and intelligent Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? That's the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. 5 years of Wi-Fi that boosts speeds to the devices that need them most. That finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a 6th sense. And that keeps you gaming in the fast lane, even when the whole family is banking on bandwidth. All your devices working in perfect harmony for 5 whole years. And here's the best part. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included. Hey, let's face it, a lot can change in 5 years. Kids grow taller, dreams grow bigger. But your Wi-Fi? It would stay reliable and the price would stay put. The Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Xfinity. Imagine that. Select plans only. Restrictions apply.
When it comes to the security of your business, doubts can creep in about who you're trusting to protect it. At Bail Arm, we got you. For nearly 80 years, we've been putting our customers' minds at ease with our advanced technology and personalized support. Feeling insecure about your current security service? Visit bailarm.com today.
What is that sound? Ugh, that sounds like a plumbing sound. Luckily, there's a company that fixes all the plumbing sounds across Puget Sound. That's All Sound Plumbing. Puget Sound's plumbing experts. Have a sound? Visit allsoundplumbing.com.
Does your building company have a strong website?
One with a solid organic search presence, engaging prospects, and filling your pipeline? You know, a site that speaks loud about your company. I'm Rusty George. My local agency specializes in creating websites and marketing strategies for building companies, including construction, manufacturing, and material suppliers. We develop strategies and tactics to attract and win more quality business. See how we can help your business get louder at rustygeorge.com. That's rustygeorge.com.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our client's portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more, and then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow, maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
When you're at home and next to your windows, do you notice cold air or a draft when the wind blows? How about moisture or leaking during a rainstorm? Dave Wyman here, and after 20 years in our home, our window seals started breaking. A failed window can do major damage to your home, and the older the window, the more likely it is to fail. That's why right now is an excellent time to have Harley Exteriors come by for a no-charge consultation. That's exactly what I had done over the summer, and not only were they extremely knowledgeable about all things windows, I found them to be polite, professional, and respectful. In other words, people you want to do business with. Harley Exteriors has a special offer for Seattle sports fans. Buy 3 windows, get 1 free. No payments or interest until 2027. And take an additional $200 off your project. Call 833-HARLEY or go to harleyexteriors.com. Schedule your free consultation today. They'll give you an honest assessment and quote. Go to harleyexteriors.com.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
This hour is brought to you by Trajan Wealth Management.
Give me a freaking auto! From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
I don't read the internet, guys.
Take the bull by the hands.
And Brooke, you are. And Brooke, you are.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Heward and Mike Salk.
Wow, Brock, this is potentially gigantic. Potentially gigantic. This is from Buster Olney in his notes column today.
Gosh, I love when you put your glasses on.
Well, I want to make sure I read it correctly. What do those in the industry think the Detroit Tigers will do with Tarik Skubal this winter? Buster Olney. Other teams believe the Tigers will seriously consider moving him if they can glean what they want in a trade. And there is every reason to expect a significant bidding war for Skubal, who will be eligible for free agency after next season. The Mariners are expected to be among the teams that go after Skubal. to bring him back to the city where he attended college. The Mets, of course, have an acute need for an ace to lead their rotation, a need borne out through their late season collapse, and they have the sort of major league ready young talent that the Tigers will want, like Jonah Tong. The Red Sox are well positioned to make a run at Skubal if they want. The only thing in this situation, it seems, is that Skuba will not sign a long-term deal with Detroit before he reaches free agency, and that will frame the Tigers' decision-making. Now, I don't know whether, the Mariners are going to be able to sign Tarik Skubal to a long-term deal as well. I don't know whether you want to sign a guy. I think that's a real question that they would have to ask and figure out whether or not they want to spend a tremendous amount of money on a starting pitcher, which has been a question mark, but you'd have time to figure it out. You get a year to try to figure out whether or not that's something you want to do. Buster Olney puts the Mariners as his first option to go out there and trade for Tarik Skubal.
Was he sniffing that Seattle Times piece by Adam Jude last week?
Maybe, but that's now two little bits of smoke, right? And eventually, you see enough smoke, there's some level of fire.
Yeah. That's why you're wearing that Jimmy shirt yesterday, huh?
That thing's fire. That thing is fire and smoke, depending on which view of Jimmy you got. Yeah.
Yeah, so you're in. I know you. You're in.
I'm not 100%. I got to know more. Brock.
Angelo Sainja, Logan Evans.
I mean, on that deal, yes.
Like you got the young arms to be able to do this.
You think Detroit says yes to that? If I'm Detroit, and this is where I think this
Luis
deal...
Castillo.
Nah, not doing that. They don't care about that.
George Kirby.
That's what I was going to say. If you are Detroit, aren't you starting this conversation with George Kirby? Look, yes. Hey, you want me to trade you Tarik Skubal? I want George Kirby. Detroit's in a win now window themselves. Like they were right there with you, arguably almost dead even. I mean, you beat them in the fifth game in extra innings to advance out of the ALDS. They were supposed to be the number 2 seed or the number 1 seed in the AL this year until they collapsed in September. If you're the Tigers, you're not doing this for Logan freaking Evans and a long-term hope that Felning Celestine turns into something. There's no way. You are starting that conversation with George Kirby. Sorry. Like, if I'm the GM, I don't even know who the GM of the Tigers is these days. Who's the GM of the Tigers? Do they have a GM? If I'm the GM of the Tigers, my first words out of my mouth are George Kirby. Let's start there. Okay, if I can't, because you got him for what, 4 years? Like, yeah, let's start that conversation, and then we can talk about maybe 2 of 3 of the other 3 guys that you just mentioned. But are you making that deal for George Kirby, Jurangelo Saincha, and Felning Celestine? I mean, the first thing I'm doing is I'm probably asking for Colt Emerson. I don't know whether I'm going to get that, but I'm probably asking for it. Felding's still a ways away, and you do see Buster mention, talent that is near Major League.
Maybe it's Arroyo. Right? He's near Major League ready.
He's getting there.
Maybe there's a fit for him there at second base or
Cole Young. Yeah, I mean, like, if I'm Detroit, I'm sorry. For a Mariner fan, of course you're saying yes to Logan Evans, your 6th starter, who would become completely unusable in that situation. And, Jurangelo Saincha, who is a few years away, and Felning Celestine, who knows?
He shouldn't be a few years away.
I think we see Jurangelo next year.
Yeah. All right, end of next year, fine.
Yes.
But come on. You're starting with George Kirby, and then you want guys who've already shown a little something in the major leagues, don't you? Aren't you asking for somebody like Cole Young or Colt Emerson, who is, in all likelihood ready to go next year?
I would guess. I would guess they would ask for Farmelo over Emerson or one of the outfielders, because the number 1 prospect in baseball is a shortstop for the Detroit Tigers.
That's a good point. All right, fine. Yes, good. I mean, it's not like you couldn't play Colt Emerson at second or third. You could.
Yeah, you could. It's just this kid, Kevin McGonigal, is going to be up next year.
All right. So, but anyway, I mean, like, aren't you asking for those types of players if you're the Tigers? You're not asking for, Logan Evans. You're asking for the best of the best. This is Tarik Skubal. And the only thing working against you is the fact that it's only 1 year of Tarik Skubal. But it's still arguably the best pitcher in baseball, or certainly top 3, along with, Skeens and maybe one more? I mean, like, that's the kind of talent you're talking about.
I mean, this is Salk 101. I mean, this is Salky 101. Add to your strength. Go from great to elite. Now, I know that's your 101 in football. Does this carry over in this conversation? I mean, you want to take your rotation that's already great, and you want to make them elite. Everything we talked about, if you want to take away anything from the postseason of any predictive nature of postseason play next year, you've got to have an absolute war daddy, a horse that can pitch 3 times in a 7-game set and just be absolute lights out. Is this dude has been. And you're his only kryptonite. So you don't want anything to do with the Mariners. It's a lot. Look, so that the positive it is side, a lot for 1 year.
It's for 1 year. I mean, that's the thing you've got to remember.
Who all of a sudden could have a little tinge in his forearm.
Sure.
Which I don't know. We saw 3 different Mariners stud pitchers this last year go through that.
And what if it's an even bigger tinge in the forearm and you end up in a Drew Smiley situation where the guy never pitches for you? And by the way, it is another WBC year. I'm sure that the U.S. team is going to want Tarik Skubal to lead the pitching staff for the U.S. team in the WBC.
And this guy's thrown how many innings the last couple years?
There's a real question mark there. This is not a simple no-brainer. Yes, of course you do it. The deal that you threw out yesterday, Brock, yes, that's a no-brainer. Sorry. That's one's a no-brainer. Adams deal, that's a no-brainer. Yeah, a deal headlined by Logan Evans, Durangelo Saintia, and Feldine Celestine. Yeah, I'm probably doing that because that's worth the risk. You start talking about George Kirby and guys that are ready to contribute right away or very close to it, I think it becomes a little bit more complicated than that.
Is there precedent? I know you reached out to Buster. Maybe we can try to get him tomorrow. Is there precedent for this? I brought up the Corbin Burns as a former Cy Younger. You kind of poo-pooed Corbin Burns as like not
Corbin Burns is a good pitcher. I shouldn't have poo-pooed it as much as I did, but I don't put him at the Skuba
And in the
level.
final year of a deal as a rental, he went for nothing of this. He went. There's no. That's where Adam kind of set his precedent, just looking at history.
How good were the Brewers that year? Were they coming off a playoff season or two? I mean, the one thing about the Tigers is they're coming off 2 straight playoff seasons.
The
right?
Brewers went 92 and 70 in 23, so they won the division that year.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough. Okay. Look, there is a comp there, and teams are going to look around and be like, hey, come on. This is probably, but the other side of that is look at the deal a couple of years ago the Nationals and Padres made, right? And that's a guy at that point. How long did he have? A year and a half left?
Who was that? Soto?
Yeah, that was a year and a half.
That's an everyday player.
And it was a year and a half.
Comp. Yes.
I think it was 2.5 years. So the package was really big.
Mm-hmm.
When he went to the Padres,
yeah, you're right. It was 2.5. Okay,
yes.
So that was 2.5 because they got him for a year and a half, then traded him to the Yankees for the last year.
That's right.
Man, it's a lot. It's a lot to give up for a 1-year rental. But the 1-year rental is, the best pitcher in baseball, and certainly puts you in that conversation now for World Series. But it doesn't solve whatever issue you've got at first base. It doesn't solve what you want to do at third base. It does right field. You still
but financially, it is it's much more resource driven with your system and your people than it is financially. Although he'll be making probably $20 million in the final year of his arbitration. Or 25.
And then there's the other question of if you were to make a trade like that for Tarik Skubal and do it early, could you turn to Josh Naylor and be like, dude, come on. You got to sign, man. We just traded for Tarik Skubal. We're serious here. You got to sign a deal. Whatever we got to do, let's make this work. Man, I could talk about this for a while. We're going to take a quick break. We'll come back with everything you need to know. Thank you for bringing this up, Lyle and Buster, of course. We'll have Joel Klatt a little bit later, and we'll come back to this as well. It's Brock and Salk, Seattle Sports on 710, seattlesports.com.
Wyman and Bob.
Sam Darnold has been sacked just 9 times this year.
Every afternoon at 2.
How much of that do you put on the pass protection he's getting versus how quickly he's getting rid of the ball?
The offensive line's doing their job, but I would say hitting a spot 35, 40 yards downfield that's so tiny. I mean, that is really impressive, but the most rare talent to me is a guy who can move around the pocket and keep his eyes downfield.
Only on Seattle Sports and Seattle Sports on YouTube.
You know what I'm not a big fan of? I'm not a big fan of assumptions. I was just telling the crew a little story behind the scenes of some of the lessons that I learned broadcasting some of the pro football games. A little different world than the college world that I was in, and there were assumptions at times made. And I'll tell you where you don't want to make assumptions as well, with your finances, and in particular with your insurance. Molly and I had heard so many of these First Mark Challenge victories through the years and kind of looked insurance and wonder, like probably you all do, am I covered the right way? Am I paying the right rates? Why are my premiums going up? Well, if you're like Molly and me and so many of my family and friends, do what we did. Take the First Mark Insurance Challenge. Here's how they go to work for you. They will fully analyze your coverage, making sure you're not overpaying for the wrong coverage. Then they'll go to the market. Dozens of major carriers they have worked with for years to find you the best fit. That's it. No stress, no confusion, no assumptions. They're your teammate. And they spent the last 30 years helping thousands of families really successfully manage the complicated world of insurance. So please don't wait a morning longer. Take the First Mark Challenge. And did I mention it's totally free? And you might be the next First Mark Challenge victory. Just go to firstmarkinsurance.com. It's all right there. Firstmarkinsurance.com. Your teammate that goes to work for you.
When businesses thrive, communities score. That's why Bank of America is the official bank of FIFA World Cup here in Seattle. And our more than 95 local business specialists are ready to help your business win. What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com/local business. Bank of America, official bank of FIFA World Cup 2026. Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
You're losing your hair and you simply need a solution that works. You want the best. Modern technology, top-rated physicians, something that's guaranteed to work. Guys, you need world-class Dr. Perungo and his team at Advanced Hair. Advanced Hair has completely redefined hair restoration. From the experience itself to their unmatched results. Receding hairline, bald spot, thinning hair, maybe all three like I had. Get your hair back with Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment that begins to regrow your own natural hair the very next day. Advanced Hair has changed tens of thousands of lives, including mine. And get this, Advanced Hair is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. For your free consultation, call 425-449-8185. Right now, you'll get $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. Refine your hairline with the team that redefined hair restoration. That's 425-449-8185. Or for the before and afters, visit advancedhair.com.
Ryan Roland Smith here. For more than 35 years, the NBA Health Insurance Trust has been helping local builders, contractors, and their employees save money and gain peace of mind. They offer customized group health plans from the state's leading insurance providers. Small and mid-sized businesses deserve big healthcare access. The NBA Health Trust brings you the coverage you want at a price you can trust. Find out more at MBAHealthTrust.com. That's MBAHealthTrust.com.
For over 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto Repair has been the one locals trust for fast, friendly service with guaranteed repairs. With 16 family-owned locations and a Carfax preferred badge, Bucky's makes it easy with same-day service and available financing. Visit Bucky's.com.
You never get a second chance to make a first impression. Superior Linen Service will help your company with logoed apparel, uniforms, floor mats, linen, and more. Give us a call. We answer the phone. Superior Linen Service. It's what we do. Visit SUPLinen.com.
The home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports. Touchdown! Seahawks! Ken Walker III! Get everything Seahawks at seattlesports.com.
What's your holiday tradition? It's G. Scott here. For me, it's gathering with loved ones around a meal that brings joy. For many families, that tradition feels out of reach. Next time you shop at Safeway, please donate to Nourishing Neighbors. Your gift provides groceries to families across Washington, giving them access to nutritious food and the dignity to shop like the rest of us and choose what's meaningful for their holiday table. Visit nourishingneighbors.com and donate at your Safeway checkout. That's nourishingneighbors.com.
Looking for a high school that nurtures both the mind and spirit? Archbishop Murphy High School is where academic excellence meets faith-based education. With a 100% graduation rate and a college prep program designed to challenge and inspire, our students are prepared for whatever the future holds. But it's more than just academics. Archbishop Murphy's robust athletics, arts, and co-curricular activities ensure that every student finds their passion and thrives. Archbishop Murphy High School believes in educating the whole person. That's why we offer a vibrant campus life where students grow not only academically, but also spiritually, socially, and physically. Don't just take our word for it. See it for yourself. Schedule a visit and discover how Archbishop Murphy High School can help your students succeed. Visit am-hs.org. IRG Physical and Hand Therapy proudly supports Archbishop Murphy High School, where your story begins. am-hs.org.
Hey, it's John Curley with some great news. If your home's heating or cooling is uneven, noisy, or expensive, listen up. The Quilt Ductless Heat Pump System from Home Comfort Alliance is changing the game. It gives you room-by-room control and next-gen efficiency, so you're only heating where you need it. That means real comfort and real savings, and every Quilt system qualifies for max tax credits. Trusted for 50 years. Call the comfort people today at HomeComfortAlliance.com.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
All right, the Seahawks have their team, Brock. This is what it's going to look like now for the rest of the year. No more opportunities to go out there in the trade market. Yesterday, they took their final shot on receiver Rashid Shaheed, a 4th and 5th round pick they give up to New Orleans in exchange. Shaheed is super fast, one of the fastest in the league, clocked over 21 miles per hour. So he is a burner. But he's also productive. He's not just a speed guy. Like, he's had success, averaging about 50 yards per game in his career, and that number is well over 50 the last 2 years with no one throwing him the ball. I mean, I would certainly hope that by adding a quarterback like Sam Darnold, he should be in a much better spot than even what he's been doing in New Orleans.
Salk, West Coast guy, San Diego guy, Weber State guy. He's coming back to the West Coast guy. And yes, if you're Shaheed and you're in the final year of your contract and you're having a very productive year on a bad team, where would you want to go? Let me play with the hottest quarterback in the game. Let me go to a system that I know with Clint Kubiak from a year ago. Let me be paired with JSN. Let me learn at the feet of Cooper Kupp and all the wisdom that he is pouring out on that crew. Like, if you're Shaheed yesterday and you get that news from your agent, right? You get a little text from your agent that says, "Hey, call me during the break," and you call him and say, "Hey, buddy, I just want to let you know you've been traded. And there's 31 other teams out there." Listed 31 other teams that you could go to. I would have to imagine this one was way up.
Yeah.
Maybe the Rams. I don't know. Maybe there's a few others that you could put in there. But to check all the boxes from his perspective, that makes this even more of a positive trade.
And everybody else seemed to love it. I mean, just around the NFL world yesterday, tons of compliments pouring in. Here was Harry Douglas.
You have Jackson Smith and Jigba. You have Cooper Kupp. You have 2 tight ends as well. Now you add a Rashid Shaheed, a guy that can take the top off the defense every single time he's out there on the football field. I love this addition for the Seattle Seahawks. And I'm telling y'all, folks, that's a team that can play defense. They can run the football. They can pass it. The quarterback and the offensive coordinator on the same page, and also the quarterback and the best receiver. From a yardage standpoint right now, Jackson Smith and Jigba, those 2 guys have elite chemistry. Watch out for the Seahawks.
I like Harry Douglas. I liked him as a player with the Falcons, and he's pretty good, I think, on TV and as well. He's fun. Watch out for the Seahawks. They're the 5th right now, the 5th offense in the league and the 5th defense in the league according to points. Like, I'm going to ask you
complimentary.
And I am curious, Brock. I was going to ask Klatt about this, but I'll ask you first. Would you rather have 5th and 5th for offense and defense, or 1st and 15th?
Yeah, 5th and 5th.
1st and 10th.
5th and 5th.
Yeah, that's kind of what I think, right?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, because that gives you a chance each and every game in a league that is all about one-possession games, and especially down the stretch of the season and maximizing your strengths. Yeah, I like the balance.
I do too. It seems to be some of what they were looking to accomplish. Jets, busiest team yesterday. Do you like what they did, trading Sauce and Quinn Williams for 3 first-round picks plus?
You have to. You don't have a quarterback. You don't have a direction. You got a young head coach. Going to have to make some judgment on him through adversity the rest of the way of whether he's the guy that you kind of want to do this and build this. This is what I think that the Lions did, right? When they made their moves with Dan Campbell and Aaron Glenn was on that staff, and they were, a 1-win team their first year. And then it's like, let's get Penei Sewell, and let's get this other tackle, and let's get a competent quarterback in Jared Goff, and let's get this difference maker in that one, and just absolutely load the box with so many picks in the 1st and 2nd round the next few years. Yeah, this kind of feels like a page out of the old Lions Dan Campbell rebuild.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
Well, we did get this report here from Buster Olney that there are teams out there very interested in what the Tigers are going to do with Tarik Skubal this offseason. He's not going to re-sign in Detroit. It sounds like he was insulted by the small offer that was reportedly given to him, and they may very well look to trade him because they're not going to get anything if he walks at the end of this year. Buster had the Mariners at the very top of that list. It's going to take a lot, and it's only for 1 year. So it really is kind of a watershed type of moment for the Mariners this offseason.
So what would you rather do? 2 buckets. Lyle and I were chatting about this during the break a little bit. Do you want the bucket of some of your top prospects, right? That kind of Adam Jude little hypothetical there of a bunch of your top 100 guys? Or would you want George Kirby and maybe one of the others? Sir Harry Ford or, one of the guys, Laz Montez, not multiple guys, but Kirby the headliner of that.
Yeah, I think I'd probably be willing to make Kirby a headliner or something like that. I'll be honest, man. I am not quite as gung-ho on this as... I want to be excited about it. And there's ways in which look, if it gets done, would I be happy? Of course. I think it's going to take a little convincing to get me all the way there, to be honest. Yeah, it would take a little... We can talk more about it. It would take a little bit of convincing to get me all the way there. Yeah.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
Still convincing. We'll talk a little Huskies with Joel as well, as they were number 23, Brock, in the first college football playoff rankings last night.
Yeah, and as I said in Blue 88, there's precedent here. Speaking of precedent, it's the time I've used that word here in 23 minutes. Find a new word, Heward. I can't because my vocabulary is not as deep. Last year, Clemson started right there. ASU was out of the top 25. Chaos ensues. You know this about college football. You just watch it the last few years, and this year in particular. The SEC is always claimed it's the third conference of the NFL. Go look at all the one-score games in the SEC. Go look at the carnivorous nature of that league, right? They're just carnivorous nature of that league. They're just devouring each other. And it's going to take some help ahead of them, but that's what's happening. The ACC's got one team in the top 12, or not even in the top 12. Virginia's outside of the top 12. So, yeah, the sport itself is chaotic. It is going to be a wild ride over the next 4 weeks. And they, with their schedule and where they position themselves right here, right now in that race to the playoff, the opportunity is there. Jed Fish can stand up in front of his team today in a team meeting and say, boys, here it is. ASU wasn't even ranked. Clemson was right in our spot. And the way this lays out for the next 4 weeks, we win these next 4, we've got a real good shot to be in the playoff.
Kraken back on the ice tonight. They will take on San Jose at home. That is everything you need to know. 1:15 every hour here on the Brock and Salk Show. Yeah, we can talk through more. I gotta have a little bit more of a sense of what's going on with some of these other question marks before I'm willing to go all in on trading for a 1-year pitcher. As great as he is, and he's great. And the person who texted in, Yamamoto, does that convince you, Salk? Yeah, it's a very convincing argument. It's not like I'm sitting here saying, no, I don't want Tarik Skubal. That's insane. No. I'm not doing that at all. It's not it. Would I like Tarik Skubal? Yes, of course. Would I be willing to pay through the nose to get him? Yeah, in the right situation. But I got to know what's going on first at first base, second base, shortstop, third base, and right field.
Does it matter at that point?
Yes, it does.
If you're running out Skubal and Wu and Kirby and Cade Anderson and
Bryce
it matters.
Miller,
does it really matter?
Yes. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. Yeah. No, I gotta know. I gotta know what the commitment looks like. Are you able to get Josh Naylor? What are you doing with Polanco? What are you doing in right field? What does the rest of the board look like in a vacuum?
Nah, those are all secondary.
No,
matters.
they're not.
No,
in fact, I might make the argument they're primary because they set you up for what you're going to do
secondary
there.
color, not a primary color. Secondary color.
All right, we gotta take a break. We'll come back with Joel Klatt next on Brock and Salk.
Hawks Live. Presented by the Dining District at the Bellevue Collection. Thursday nights from 7 to 9 p.m. Live from Bellevue Square's center court. Come on by and join hosts Michael Bumpus and Paul Moyer and a different Seahawks player every week.
This should be fun.
Hawks Live. Thursday nights from 7 to 9 p.m. Exclusively on the home of the Seahawks. Seattle Sports. On 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, Setup is easy with just one cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here. Based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025, Ookla trademarks used under license, unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 a monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Talk about stepping up. It's time to level up your game. Introducing the all-new ESPN app. All of ESPN, all in one place. Your home for the most live sports and the best championship moments.
The electricity is palpable.
Step up your game with no annual contract required. It's the ultimate fan experience. Level up for more on the ESPN app or at stream.espn.com. Sign up now.
Now that I'm a dad, I can't stop thinking about what would happen to my kids if something happened to me, like losing the house or not affording college.
Yeah, that used to keep me up at night too. It's why I finally got life insurance from Ethos. It's 100% online. No medical exams, just a few health questions. I got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day.
I never realized it was that simple. Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game.
Rates may vary. Bill monthly. Sample rate 10-year term life policy for a 35-year-old healthy non-smoking male.
Progressive has great customer service, and it's easy to reach us because great and easy is the way to be. Like salads. Great for you, and so easy you could put any group of veggies in a bowl and it's a salad. A full carrot with a head of cabbage? Weird, but still a salad. One radish and a couple of green beans? Also a salad. 14 blueberries, half an onion, and a sunchoke? Odd, yes, but an odd salad. So contact Progressive's customer service by phone, app, or online. It's great and easy, just like salad. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. All so that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is the home of the Seahawks.
Going to let one fly deep. Got a man out there. Ball is caught down at the 10-yard line, and it's JSN.
Seattle Sports.
Fall rains can expose hidden roof problems, and once water gets in, the damage only gets worse. Is your roof ready for the season? Hi, Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. At State Roofing and Exteriors, we repair and replace roofs with a quality you've trusted for decades. And yes, we also provide siding, windows, decks, and gutters to keep your entire home protected. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today to schedule a free estimate. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
Your new home is now ready. D.R. Horton, America's builder, has new homes that are ready today. With new construction communities throughout the Puget Sound and Central Washington areas and more coming, D.R. Horton has the right home for you. At D.R. Horton, we're still building with more construction, more communities, and more homes available every day. Find your new home, now ready at drhorton.com. That's drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder, an equal housing opportunity builder.
Free consultations, no fee guarantees, 5-star reviews. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains the importance of going beyond these familiar offerings.
Accident victims want an attorney, Tom, that satisfies their needs. Someone who handles those needs with the highest degree of care. Pendergast Law offers the no-fee guarantees and free consultations, but these only scratch the surface.
Okay, explain more.
We make sure that every member of our team is genuinely passionate about helping others. Customer service and communication are our top priority. It's how we take care of our clients so they always feel one step ahead of the insurance companies. Our strong reputation for high standards provides comfort and confidence when it's needed most.
Pendergast Law offers the free consultations, the no-fee guarantees, and, of course, they are 5-star rated. But what really makes them different is their genuine passion for helping others. I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
That's PendergastLaw.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Brock and Salk
Weekdays 6 to 10.
on Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Well, some fun trade conversation, Brock. A little baseball talk to mix in with what the Seahawks did yesterday at the NFL trade deadline. Obviously bringing in one of the real speedsters in the league, wide receiver Rashid Shaheed. Good time and opportunity to talk to Joel Klatt about that and a whole lot more as he joins us now, as he does every week at this time. Good morning, Joel. How are you?
Good morning. What's going on? How are you?
You know, we're great. The Rashid Shaheed, I mean, just the whole day yesterday was fun in the NFL. It's cool that they're sort of getting into the trade deadline type of action the way baseball has for years and years. It's always been one of my favorite parts of the baseball season. And adding it now to the NFL season in a much more significant way, I just think it's a really cool, fun part of the football season. What'd you make of yesterday?
Yeah, and in particular because we don't have a runaway team. You know, so I think there are a lot of teams that feel like, hey, maybe we're a piece away from making a run and potentially being in a position to win our conference and play for a Super Bowl. I know, like I've talked with DJ. I know you guys talk with DJ on Tuesdays, right? And like he and I have talked about this, about how the number of teams in the NFL that feel like, hey, the breaks go their way. You know, they could be the team to beat in their conference. And so when you've got that type of dynamic, then I think the trade deadline becomes interesting, because none of these teams you would say are complete. Maybe Seattle is you know, as close to that as possible. I know that I would love for them to run the football a little bit better, but I mean, at this point we're splitting hairs. You know, Denver has problems, but they're a good team. Indy, same thing. And obviously on the NFC side, just for what the Seahawks will face, these teams that we thought were going to be great, you know, haven't panned out. Like Green Bay losing to Cleveland and Carolina. Like where did that come from?
Mm-hmm. Don't know what your schedule is, Joel, when you get home Saturday night. I know you love your kids and your wife and your family. So do you get a chance on Sundays to watch a little football? And if so, the Sunday night game was obviously Seattle and Washington this last weekend. You get a chance to dig into much of that, or is Sunday kind of a rest day?
No, I Sunday night in particular, during the day, we generally, you know, my youngest son plays fall baseball, so we're always sitting out at games, and I've got my iPad up watching film of college teams. But Sunday night's always kind of our football night in the house, which is fun. My middle guy and I, his name is Sam, and he and I are in this father-son fantasy football league. And guys, I'm a total I've never played fantasy football. Well, we drafted Jaden Daniels, so we were locked in. And unfortunately for us, it did not go our way with Jaden Daniels needing some points in that game. We should have tried to have a swap for Sam Darnold. How good was Sam on Sunday night? I mean, the efficiency was off the charts. It's like Phil Simms in the Super Bowl against the Broncos in '88. It's like wild, man. He is at one point. Didn't he complete his first like 12 or 11 at one point?
It was just 17.
Was it 17?
Yes. Yeah, it was 17.
Like the ball didn't hit the ground until the third quarter.
Yeah. And they weren't cheapies. They weren't
bubble.
And he didn't even have Mark Bavaro to throw the ball to, or Phil McConkey, or Lionel Manuel, or anybody else that Phil Simms had.
So good pull, Salk. Look at that.
Thank you.
Salk's been studying up.
No, that's one of my favorite teams of all time.
I feel like Oh, is it?
Yeah.
That Giants team
Yeah,
back
growing
then?
up in New England, the Patriots were so bad, and there were a lot of they were never on TV because they would have blackouts, and there were a lot of kind of leftover Giants fans around New England from before the Patriots existed. So I loved LT and Sims and loved those teams. So yeah, I probably remember those teams better than like last year's Seahawks team, unfortunately.
I was a very sad youngster watching my Broncos lose that game to the Giants.
But Sam, you're right. I mean, just unbelievable. The efficiency, the accuracy. Brock keeps bringing up how few sacks he's taken this year, and obviously he shares that stat with the offensive line. But what does it tell you what is it, Brock? 9 sacks in 8 games?
Yeah.
What does 9 sacks in 8 games tell you about the way he's playing quarterback?
Complete control of the system, processing information incredibly quick. He's on platform, and he knows what he's looking at, and he knows where the football needs to go, and in the timing to do so, and that he has guys that can win and create spacing on time. And I think that's the one part of the equation. Everyone looks at the O-line when sack numbers. Then, more sophisticated people also look at, the quarterback and his responsibility within pass protection. But very few people actually think about or talk about what's the picture being provided to the quarterback, and are those wide receivers providing that picture, winning and creating space on time? And I think that can be at times the more difficult part. And I know we've said this, and this is not meant to be disparaging, but when Jackson Smith-Njigba, knowing what I knew of him covering Ohio State every other week for what feels like my entire career, I mean, I knew he was going to be an incredible player in the NFL. His short area quickness, his intelligence, his strength with his hands. And when he went to Seattle, it was like, it's like, really? Can we get him in an actual offense? Again, not meant to be disparaging, even though it comes off incredibly disparaging. But this offense fits him very well, and Sam fits him very well. So your question about the protection, I think, also extends to those guys that are winning on time. And JSN being the foremost of that, which is why he's excelling and been really one of the most productive receivers in the league over the last month.
What does Rashid Shaheed do for that?
Well, it extends the defense. Number one, when you put speed on the field, they have to respect that. Now, I've never felt like Sam was a great deep ball thrower, but I think he's gotten better. But what it does is it lifts the pressure off of those intermediate zones. And it allows the guys underneath him to operate with a greater amount of freedom and space. So, I mean, that's a good get. And I think that's why they got him. It's not necessarily, even though you'd love some productivity from him, but it's the threat of stretch. And the threat of stretch provides space. And when you've got a guy that's carving it up like Sam, and he's on time and he's on target, when you create even just feet of more space within the system, he's going to take advantage of that.
Don't worry about being disparaging. Salk, do you remember JSN at the Super Bowl asked about his offensive coordinator after year 1 with Shane Waldron?
Yeah, good luck, he said to the people in Chicago.
I don't know if you remember that, Joel, but he was on.
Wait, is this thing on?
No, but
he basically asked afterwards.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was like, is this live? Oh, this is live? Oh,
good luck.
Oh, this is we can't edit this out?
No, it's too late.
It was a little rough. Hey, we spent a lot of time with DJ yesterday, most of the segment, talking Sam and JSN and this offense. I want to flip it on the other side because you've been enamored with McDonald and kept relationship with him through the years. So when you watch that Seahawks defense Sunday night, just absolutely swallow, 4 sacks of Jaden Daniels, ultimately knocked him out of the game, just made that group pretty pedestrian. What did you see, even with backups playing still for Seattle on the back end? What did you see out of McDonald's Seahawks defense here in 2025?
For a young guy, he was young when I was dealing with him back in 2021, and he's still young. What I was always enamored with was how sound he was structurally. He never, I don't want to say never. I mean, it's like marriage and football. You never say never or always. And yet there was never a moment where I felt like, he's putting himself at risk. So the structure and the way that even when he was attacking, different structures on offense. I always felt like he did as good of a job as any of maintaining kind of the risk reward profile to be in his favor. It's hard to describe the specifics of that, but it has to do with rotation, specific matchups. And then the other thing, and he and I used to talk about this a lot, he was really good at attacking specific passing protection structures. And Brock, as you know, offensive coaches can get locked into certain protections or they've got big tells, center sliding away from the back, how do they do it when they flip the back, so on and so forth. And he was really good at calling things that were simple for his defense, confusing for the offense, that would attack the structure. So for instance, a very prevalent pass protection in football, both levels, is what I would call a slide protection. And it's not a full slide, but it's like a half slide to the what I would call like the weak side of the protection or the offside for the quarterback, and then a man protection on the front side. And he would do a really good job of providing structures that would unlock where the slide is happening, and then he would simply overload one side with a four-man side. And yet he would do that with rotation, not always in zone pressure, but with rotation that wouldn't skew the risk reward profile of the defense. That's what I always thought about Mike. He's a really smart guy. And the other thing that I always really enjoyed is he was humble enough to take feedback and also listen to his coaches. So he would be very blunt about like, well, I don't know this very well. And, this is a guy on our staff that does. And so he's been able to design that. And that trait, when I first learned it back in 21, I knew right away, like at some point he's going to be a very good head coach, because he's not a guy that sit there and has to know all the answers. But because of that mentality, he certainly has a lot of the answers.
In talking about this team, we've talked a lot about balance, and Mike's word is complementary. Brock's used the word alignment. One of the things that I found really interesting, and we were talking about it with DJ yesterday, is this sort of idea of playing with the safety, that trying to get teams out of the too high safety look that has come in the last few years to wreck the big passing games with, Patrick Mahomes and some of those guys, and then using these big players, big personnel to take them out of it and saying, hey, we're going to be able to run the ball on you if you want to keep that other safety way back there. And then when they say, okay, well, then we're going to bring the safety up, then using the ability to throw the ball out of those same formations. Where do you think this goes? It's sort of for me, just a fascinating cat and mouse game in the NFL right now of trying to find ways to run and throw effectively.
Yeah, I mean, that's always, everything is a cycle. And, offenses tend to be copycat. And so they'll see things that are working, and then the defense has to adjust. A few years ago, like Seattle made post safety all the rage. And everyone played cover 3, post safety meaning single safety. Everyone did it, and then there'll be a defense that comes along and it's like, oh man, the man coverage, it takes away the RPOs and does this. And so then everyone kind of moves and so it's always cyclical. And in football, as in life, there is nothing new under the sun, and so it is the coaches and the systems that have balance. And I'm not just talking about run pass balance, but have the balance from a structure standpoint to attack whatever the weakness is on any given defense. And those are the ones that have success at each level. And then the complementary side of this, and this is not as much, in the structure of safeties and everything, but, Mike learned that from Jim at Michigan, and maybe John as well at Baltimore, but specifically Jim at Michigan. Nobody played better complementary football than Michigan. They, Jim, hey, we just gonna grind the meat, and Joel, we just gotta block tackle. That's what we got to do. We got, we just
strain. We got to strain.
Got to screen them, and we got to get off blocks. And but it was kind of the beauty of the simplicity of it, right? And the field position battle and how that would go. And Mike and then Jesse Minter would always talk about calling defense like playing poker. The best poker players fold 65, 70% of their hands, and so the best defensive play callers play safe structures 65, 70% of the time. And then it's not every single series, but there are going to be moments when the game allows you or your hand allows you to get aggressive. And you understand that a 3-and-out at that moment, a stop at that moment is really going to hurt the opposition versus just trying to, everyone's like, well, you got to get a stop, got to get a stop. Yes, you obviously want to get stops, but there are moments when those stops are more impactful. You go down and you put together a long score on the offensive side, and then you come out, maybe it's the third quarter, maybe it's a possession game, and then all of a sudden it's like, hey, a 3-and-out here puts them in a bind because their defense is tired and so on. And we used to have those conversations, which I really appreciated. I'll give you a quick stat. And then, Salk, I know, I'm sorry I'm long-winded.
This is great. No,
by
the way, Joel, that's awesome. And I'm actually
stop
really
apologizing to me and Salk. Apologize to Maura. She's got to try to cut your interviews.
Cut this up later.
So just say sorry, Maura.
Sorry, Maura.
Sorry, Maura.
But no, I think I'm all in on this conversation. I think that's a fascinating look at it.
Yep.
Let me give you an example at the college level with two teams that, everyone knows of, but you're like, well, what's going on with these two teams? Tennessee and Ohio State, okay? Both in the top 25. Tennessee loses a game to OU last week at home, a place that they don't generally lose unless it's Georgia. And you look up and you're like, it's a 16-10 ball game at half, and Tennessee was winning the yards battle 256-94. And you're like, well, how does that happen? Well, let me tell you how it happens. It happens because Tennessee has an inability to play complementary football. They go fast tempo, up tempo. They're snapping the football as fast as they can. They make one mistake, and all of a sudden it's a sack fumble, and it goes the other way. Meanwhile, OU's offense hasn't done anything. But Tennessee doesn't protect themselves with the way that they play offensive football. They go for volume over quality. And now all of a sudden you look up and it's the exact opposite of Ohio State. See, Ohio State could score 60 points if they wanted to with that passing game. They could, but they don't. Even the Washington game is a great example of this. Ohio State did not have a play of over 20 yards against Washington, partly because they didn't feel like they needed it. All right. Last week, they go out and they go bombs away on Penn State in the second half because it was there for them. Okay, so here's Tennessee, and they're always trying to get to 50 or 60 points, and they're doing that through volume. Here's Ohio State could get there, but they don't. Why? To protect their defense. So the average snaps for each of their offenses, 73 for Tennessee and 57 for Ohio State. Well, that correlates to the defensive side as well. Tennessee's defense sees well over 70 snaps of offensive football per game. Ohio State sees well under 60 snaps of offensive football per game. If you average that over a 12-game period, here's what you find is that Tennessee's defense is going to see 195 more snaps of football than Ohio State is. Well, you tell me which defense is going to be more rested and more effective. So when you think of complementary football, think of it in that equation. In game, where do you push your chips in the middle of the table to give them the most opportunity to have impact within that game? And then over the course of a season, how are you making sure that the best parts of your team are fresh, efficient, and ready to play their best?
So that almost makes the next question moot, because I know exactly what you're going to say. You've kind of already said it, but I'll ask you just for the sake of it, because I said I would, and I asked Brock earlier. Would you rather be, as the Seahawks are, 5th in the league in scoring offense, 5th in the league in scoring defense, or an absolutely dominant number one in one of those categories, but it comes at the at the expense of the other, where you're 12th or 15th or something like that?
If you ask me, like, you could have one area to be a dominant area, I would say defense, because it's just one of those things where I think to be the best offense by a wide margin, you steal from your ability to be efficient on the defensive side. In a perfect world, you're exactly what the Seahawks are, or what Indiana is right now in the college game, which is top 5 in both. Because then the opposition is looking there and they're like, okay, we got to attack weaknesses today. Where's the weak link in the chain? And you're like, well, there isn't one. Why? Because they all work in tandem together. So if you told me I had to be dominant at something, it would be defense, but I would much rather be top 5 in both. Or like between 6 and 4, right in there in both categories.
Last thing here, just to quickly shift gears to the Huskies. College football rankings come out last night. They sit at 23, which is exactly where Clemson was a season ago. ASU was outside the top 25 in the first rankings a year ago. What is Jed Fish's message in the team meeting today, getting ready for the work week?
That it's real. Chase is real. They win every one of their games. I have a very good hunch that they would be getting in. The value of the Big Ten via the committee versus the AP sets them up for a process where, Oregon's got a tough end of the season stretch in November, and that a win over that Oregon team would almost certainly put them in a position as a 10-2 with the way that the committee is valuing the Big Ten as a team that would be almost certainly in. So if I'm Jed Fish, the first thing I say is like, it's real. We did it. We put ourselves in the position that we wanted to put ourselves into. And now we've just got to go out and execute, because when they're healthy up front, this is a really good team. They weren't healthy up front against Michigan. And they've had success against Oregon. I think, what are they, 7-3, or they've won like 3 in a row against Oregon at Husky Stadium, something along those lines. And so I would lean on that. But my message would be it's real.
Do you know what DJ's doing next week? Did he tell you what he's doing? Because we usually talk to him on Tuesday. We're not going to get to talk to him on Tuesday.
You don't know what he's doing?
You don't know what he's doing on Tuesday. So
no.
Oh,
he's
really?
playing Augusta.
Now, here's the thing. He said it's going to be butt cold, and I was looking. We've got like one of the biggest cold fronts in history that's going to hit Middle America and the South. Like Florida's going to look at the coldest temperatures in 100
30
years.
degrees at Augusta.
Yeah, it's going to be butt
that's
cold.
where DJ's going to be on Tuesday. How do you feel about that? I think we've broken Joel. I'm so sorry. You apologized to us earlier. I'm going to apologize back. I knew it would have an effect. I didn't know it would be this profound.
See, Rain Man frozen?
I have no words. That is the worst poker beat I've ever experienced. My chips are in the middle of the table. I had 2 kings, and some idiot just called with ace-7 offsuit and flopped 2 aces. What?
Yep. Yeah. He just picked up golf 3 years ago, Joel.
He just started playing.
I know. I know.
Do you think it's because he looks so much like Justin Thomas? Do you think that's the
we gotta let him
secret?
Go. We gotta let him go.
You just ruined my day.
I'm so sorry. I didn't. I honestly assumed you already knew.
Now, he's the one guy that I've never wanted to hate, and now I might hate DJ.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, this was bad. All right. Well, I'm sorry, Joel. I hate to end this on such a
play Augusta.
Yeah. It's such a bad note.
So this might. You haven't played Augusta.
No, God, no.
Okay, goodness gracious! You would have seen a heart attack live on the air, right?
I played Pebble. That was enough. That was amazing. Pebble was unbelievable.
Yeah, that's fine.
Incredible
That's
experience.
a public course, so
right? I know that. All right, I'm not bragging about it. I'm saying it was enough.
You're not bragging about it.
You're changing the subject now because you're all mad. You're not playing Augusta next week. That's all I know. We got to go. Goodbye, Joel. See you later. There you go. There's Joel Klatt.
Painful.
Very, very upset and trying to turn it on me. It's not my fault. I'm not the one playing Augusta. We'll be back with Washington Wednesday. I'm Brock and Salk.
Wyman and Bob.
Is this like a signature win?
Every afternoon at 2.
To try to get people to believe in this team. They just cruised the entire way.
While I think it's an impressive win, I wouldn't call it a signature win based on the opponent. To me, a signature win is beat the Rams. Beat a team, especially in your division, that's really good record-wise. That's what I would title a signature win. If they beat the Rams, that's the best opponent they've got in the next 5 games.
Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton, only on Seattle Sports.
I'm Rusty George. My local marketing agency specializes in helping companies in the building and manufacturing industries develop the right kind of websites and marketing strategies to attract and win more business. Visit us today at rustygeorge.com.
What is that sound? Ugh, that sounds like a plumbing sound.
Luckily, there's a company that fixes all the plumbing sounds across Puget Sound. That's All Sound Plumbing. Puget Sound's plumbing experts. Have a sound? Visit allsoundplumbing.com.
You've heard the saying, you never get a second chance to make a first impression. Since 1926, my family's been helping local businesses make great first, second, and long-term impressions. We know how to make your company look good with quality uniforms, logoed apparel, floor mats, linens, and more. If you're paying for linen service or doing it yourself, let's have the conversation. The information and quote are free, but the savings and service can really add up. Visit suplinen.com. Superior Linen Service. It's what we do.
Comcast Business can help turn your small business into a connected, secure, modern business. It's how restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How healthcare offices become the data-protecting caregivers that we all depend on. And how wealth management firms become cyber-securing guardians of your information. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, and Wi-Fi backup, your business can stay connected and get threat-ready with Comcast Business. Powering possibilities.
Now through November 16th, new Comcast Business customers can get started with 150 megabit internet plus security for $59.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Plus, ask how to get a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig package. Call today. Restrictions apply. Requires enrollment in paperless billing and auto pay with bank account. Early termination fee applies. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra.
The LJ way is.
You look at stuff like this and it's like, I don't want to come into an industry and work on a place that is going to compromise how I feel about myself. I get to go to work every day with good people, and I get to enjoy what I do because I'm out there just trying to do right by people I care about, which is our community. We're going to see them at the grocery store. I'm going to see them at the sports tournaments. 2 friends of our daughters came in last night just on the lot, didn't know I was there, and it was cool because you got to take them through, and they're going to buy a car for their first driver and a car for their kid going to school soon. These are the people that you're going to work with, and so you better make sure that your laundry's clean. I don't think Lee Johnson specifically, right, Speedway Chevrolet, where I'm at, I don't think they've ever had a problem with the community of being able to stand up and look them in the eye and know that they did their job well.
The LJ way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
Running a business means wearing multiple hats. So if you're like me, you probably started out using your personal phone, taking client calls and texts nonstop. As my business grew, I needed something smarter. That's when I switched to Quo, the #1 business phone system. Quo works right on your phone or computer. No carrying 2 phones, no clunky landline, just one easy app you can try for free. Your team can share one number and handle calls and texts together, like a shared inbox. Any teammate can jump into the conversation, so customers get faster responses. And Quo's AI agent can be set up in minutes to answer calls and questions 24/7, so you never miss a customer, lead, or opportunity. All this starts at just $15 a month. That's basically 2 coffees. Find out why 90,000 businesses trust Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports. That's quo.com/sports to try Quo free. QUO.com/SPORTS.
More fiber and laxatives, eh? Who are you? I'm future you. Future me? Constipation with belly pain still coming back? Our doctor figured it out. It's irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C. And Linzess could help you get ahead of it.
Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
Give me a freaking auto!
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
Brock Heward and Matt Marcus. Sorry about Mike.
Heward, not exactly Joe Cap there in the pocket.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Heward and Mike Salk.
Something weird's going on this year, Brock. Something weird is happening. Today is, what day is it, Wednesday?
Today is Wednesday, Michael.
Halloween was Friday night.
Wednesday, November 5th.
All right, Halloween was Friday night. Today's Wednesday. We work in a sizable enough office, and there is a like, it's not even a desk, it's a table in the middle of the newsroom, right outside my window here. Cairo newsroom, but Cairo folks are over there. It's Seattle sports folks, like My Northwest, SeattleSports.com. Everyone kind of congregates at times in this big room, and there's a big table right in the middle of it, which is not used for anything functional for the newsroom. Nobody in the newsroom uses it for meetings. They don't use it as a desk. It's just right there, right smack in the middle. And the only thing it's used for is for people to put food on, right? There's often candy or donuts or pizza, whatever it is, anything that's been brought in from somebody's house. Like if you have extra stuff, you bring it in, you put it on the newsroom table, and it disappears.
Yeah.
It's just sort of how it works in this office. And I'm sure plenty of offices out there are like that. We are now Wednesday after Halloween, and I haven't seen one piece of Halloween candy out there. What is going on?
That is weird.
Did everybody have like no extras? Well, like, what is the deal? There is usually mounds and mounds of candy put out there. Like everyone comes in, it's like, well, I bought way too much, and they just dump the candy.
Well, you had
on
no
there.
extras. Maura had no extras.
I know.
We ran out. Maybe there was
But then you usually get the opposite, Brock, where people are like, well, my kids brought home so much candy, they can't possibly eat it all, and then they come and dump some here. We're at zero candy, and it's Wednesday. Yeah. That seems shocking to you?
That is abnormal from years past.
All right.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say it's abnormal.
I'm
but
shocked.
Based on your life experience and my life experience, it was a ravenous base out there. I mean, I told you. We spent $130. I bought 4 bags of Costco candy. Like
That's
25.
Insane.
25.
How much money?
We spent $125.
That's absurd.
And we were out in an hour.
Right.
The hoodlums, they were just circling our cul-de-sac.
Yeah.
It would have taken double. It would have taken $250 to $300
Come on.
easily in candy to keep the ravenous group satisfied. That is not an exaggeration.
That is.
Let's
well,
get to
maybe people are
Washington
spending
Wednesday.
so much on candy that they don't want to like just dump it in the newsroom. They're like,
That's
hey, I
right.
spent $300 on all this candy. I got to find a way to eat it, even if it kills me. Yeah. All right. I can understand that. All right. Let's do some Washington Wednesday.
Washington Wednesdays, presented by Star Rentals, preferred supplier to the West's best contractors.
The Saluki went husky, and she went sniffing and barking for some great sound here. She just got it done. She got it done. I got like 3 cuts of Jed Fish that I want to hear here. Just a reminder, they play Saturday afternoon, 1:30 in Madison, Wisconsin. The Badgers have been deeply disappointing this year, but an 11.5-point spread. An 11.5-point favorite on the road at Wisconsin.
Sounds
Give me
nerve-wracking.
start with the last of the cuts.
That's a
cut
little
22.
nerve-wracking.
Yeah, Fish talking about, because I see this Wisconsin crew and I see a salty defense. What does the head coach see?
Well, they're very big, they're fast, they're physical. They've got 2 outstanding pass rushers that we have to be able to handle. Both their defensive ends are really good. Their safeties play extremely hard downhill. They're a team that has always been kind of like known to be hard-hitting, physical, tough defense to go against. They play a mixture of coverages, a mixture of pressures. Coach Fickle's always done a good job with his defenses.
Yeah, I mean, I did Washington and Iowa last year. Now, different circumstances. UW, as Joel Klatt has said, when healthy, is so much better than they were a year ago when Brendan Carroll was trying to piece together that offensive line that just couldn't compete against the big, salty, mature, developed programs like Wisconsin, like Minnesota, like Iowa was last year on the road. But 11.5, I feel like Vegas is trying to, but I think it started at 10 and it's growing. So I don't know. That feels like a big number. But a big reason why is they have been woeful. You talk about complimentary ball. Wisconsin's played good defense, winning enough defense, but offensively, like haven't scored a touchdown. There was a stretch there for like 3 games. And they made coordinator changes, and they're trying to play pro style. Jed Fish talking about the challenges Wisconsin has had and being prepared for who knows what they're going to throw at quarterback.
We know we've got to be on our P's and Q's and be locked in and ready to roll. So we're ready for them. Special teams wise, they've always had an outstanding special teams, and we know that that hasn't changed. They have 2 great returners, kickoff and punt returner. And then offensively, I know they're going through some things, trying to figure out who their quarterback is. They've had a bunch of injuries, and we have to be prepared for multiple looks there.
Kind of feels like, honestly, a game that when Joel was given that complimentary ball answer that you enjoyed so much, and making the analogy to poker and making an analogy or having the conversation of when to play your hand, when to pull the trigger, when to go for it, that Jed Fish is going to have to pull those levers appropriately. If this is, oh man, we want to just keep this offense rolling. We want to do what we did to Illinois. We want to get Denzel Boston, and we want to get a QB, 400 yards of total offense day, and we want to do it on this stage and make us. No. And if you win this game by 3 points, you shake their hand and you get out of there, and like you just bottom line find a way to play complimentary winning football. Put your defense. It's played pretty good. It's played better than I think expected, and make sure like you don't give Wisconsin any life, any turnovers, any momentum, any energy. You're totally buttoned up on the special teams phase of it, because that's a dangerous wounded animal that is fighting for their jobs. Luke Fickell is fighting. He might be the next Power 4 head coach to go if, they lose out and can't turn this thing around. He made staff changes. It's not worked. They've not been good offensively. So this feels like a pro-style, manage it appropriately, Jed, find a way to win and come home. If you do so, maybe even a couple notches higher in those rankings before Purdue at home, UCLA, and Oregon.
Good stuff. That's Washington Wednesday. Every Wednesday at 9 o'clock, we go through that here and kind of figure out where the Huskies are at. And number 23 in the country here in the college football rankings for the playoffs.
Baseball team.
Yeah.
ALCS Game 7. Football team.
Good stuff to talk about.
Football. Husky football team, 6-2.
Kraken in first place.
Kraken in first place.
Yeah.
Fun
stuff.
I was wondering where you were going to go with your, start the segment with.
Yeah.
It's a little different environment in town.
Well, I got a lot of texts here, too, about the candy and Halloween situation. Let's see. Everything from, oh, my God, there's no extra candy where I work either. It's horrible, says the 206. A couple of people saying we got 0 trick-or-treaters this year. It's never happened before. All right, well, it was pouring rain.
Pretty bad weather.
Yeah, Aaron in Vancouver says, my candy was at a way higher price. That's probably why. Yeah, no, I get it. Candy was expensive.
Yes.
But that doesn't mean there's not some people didn't buy as much, maybe. And so they ran out early and did what you did,
I think
Brock,
you
just
should
shut
send
it
out
down.
an email.
Yeah.
Send a Seattle All email to our whole group here?
Yes.
Yeah, that seems like something I want to do.
Who used to
Where's
do
the
that?
candy?
Who used to do
Don
that?
O'Neill and Ron Upshaw were big Seattle All users for the email. And then the best was probably
The fork scandal.
Jillian Rafferty with the fork scandal. When people were taking her fork in the kitchen. And Danny had a lot of fun with that. Yeah. Everybody's got them in their office. Don O'Neill, Ron Upshaw, Ron and Don Show. Big.
Yeah, text in your reply all in your office. We'll read out some names.
We'll just call people out if they're reply all people. If you'd like to have them named.
I like this.
I'm totally willing to name names.
Let's do it.
It's Brock and Salk. Seattle Sports on 710.
Wyman and Bob.
Sam Darnold has been sacked just 9 times this year.
Every afternoon at 2.
How much of that do you put on the pass protection he's getting versus how quickly he's getting rid of the ball?
The offensive line's doing their job, but I would say hitting a spot like 35, 40 yards downfield that's so tiny. I mean, that is really impressive, but the most rare talent to me is a guy who can move around the pocket and keep his eyes downfield.
Only on Seattle Sports and Seattle Sports on YouTube.
Hey, Brock Ewart here, and you've heard me talk for some time now about some of the different injuries that I've had over the years. When one of them pops up with one of our guys on our sports teams, I've typically had some of those, but you don't have to play pro sports to know what I'm talking about. I know on this Wednesday morning, many of you have woken up with painful joints from arthritis, and it affects you. It affects everything you do. It makes it hard to do pretty much anything. Well, if you're in that situation, then reach out to my friend, Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD, from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine right there in Kirkland. 425-823-4000. 425-823-4000. He has seen so many patients just like you suffering from chronic joint pain that really affects their quality of life. And here's the deal with Dr. Nelson. Many have jumped aboard the regenerative medicine train lately. You've heard that over the last 10 years or so. Not Dr. Nelson. This has been his passion. This has been his heart for well over 30 years. So what that means, he's got experience and a huge tool bag that, yes, includes stem cell therapy and PRP treatments. Whatever you need to end your chronic joint pain, he's got the answers. Give him a call, 425-823-4000, or visit DanielNelsonMD.com. That's DanielNelsonMD.com.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Call 1-877-CARS for Kids to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS for Kids.
Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
This is for all you guys on Viagra. ED pills are no longer needed. The brutal side effects like 4-hour headaches, blurred vision, and that flush feeling can all be put behind you with our treatment. Here at West Coast Men's Health, we have a better approach to ED. Acoustic wave therapy creates blood flow circulation by safely removing the plaque in your arteries and restoring function naturally. Guys, let me be clear. Pills will never fix your problem. Our equipment is the latest technology, and our medical staff is the best in the industry. So give West Coast Men's Health a call today. Speak with our clinic manager. Ask him any question you like, how it works, the science behind it, and even the cost. If you suffer from ED or Peyronie's disease, give West Coast Men's Health a call today. It's not just about better health, it's about a better life.
With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
Want more Seahawks content? Join me, G. Scott, on The Reset. New episodes of the podcast every Monday and Thursday on YouTube or on the Seattle Sports app.
Your time is money, so why are you wasting it stuck in I-5 gridlock, TSA slowdowns, and SeaTac crowds? Isn't it time to travel smarter? Seaport Airlines offers high-frequency commuter shuttle service from Seattle's Boeing Field to Portland. Park for free next to our terminals. Check in 20 minutes before your departure. Get there faster without the hassles. Seaport Airlines. It's about time. Book today at flyseaportair.com.
Ooh, that face. Quantum fiber internet loves that face.
That's Jamila.
Hey, Jamila.
She's thinking outside the box from inside the box.
Quantum fiber Wi-Fi keeps her meeting game strong. From the back door to the front lawn.
Rushing all of the video calls. Back to back to back video calls.
Quantum fiber internet blowing the soxies of all those people in all those boxes. Yay to you.
Switch today at quantumfiber.com. Additional pods may be needed to achieve Wi-Fi coverage in some locations. Limited availability. Service in select locations only.
Hey, it's John Curley with some great news. If your home's heating or cooling is uneven, noisy, or expensive, listen up. The Quilt ductless heat pump system from Home Cover Lines is changing the game. It gives you room-by-room control and next-gen efficiency, so you're only heating where you need it. That means real comfort and real savings, and every Quilt system qualifies for max tax credits. Trusted for 50 years. Call the comfort people today at homecomfortalliance.com.
At Pacific Power Batteries, you won't find anything with pumpkin spice. We sell batteries for everything to anyone. No warm, fuzzy mittens, no umbrellas, no potpourri in our nice stores. But when the going gets tough and the lights go out and your stuff won't start, you'll be glad that you came to Pacific Power Batteries. And if you're not sure if your battery is dead, we'll test it for you for free. We will sell no battery for anything before it's time. We're honest people at Pacific Power Batteries, doing batteries since 1985.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
So I'm kind of excited to watch Rashid Shaheed, Brock, and we were talking yesterday about John Clayton. It is too bad John isn't around to mess up the name Rashid Shaheed. This would have been a challenge for John, I think, Rashid Shaheed. But looking forward to seeing him in a Seahawks uniform, wearing number 22 and bringing more than anything speed. It should be easy to remember because it rhymes with both his first and last names. Dude's fast. He really is. One of the faster players in the league, clocked over 21 miles an hour this year. On a couple of occasions, the dude can flat out fly. And every single person that you hear talking about it really, I think, goes through all of the nice things that brings to this team. It's not just that he catches a lot of balls, and he does. He's productive, 50 yards per game. But it's all of the things he does to help various parts of the team. Here's Mina Kimes.
I do think, however, down the stretch, as they gear up for their playoff run, they're going to need to be more balanced. And Shaheed, yes, he's a pass catcher, but I think he's going to force defenses to give them lighter boxes. When they're in 11 personnel, they still see light boxes at a below average rate. You really can't do that with JSN and Shaheed on the field. So I think there'll be a trickle-down effect where it helps the run game as well, Marcus. But, let's be honest. This is about bombs away.
Yeah, it's about stretching that defense out, kind of vertically and giving, I think, JSN a little respite every once in a while. Not that he needs it. I think this also maybe points to Cooper Kupp's hamstring being something significant, and that they want to make sure that they get him for the run in December and into the playoffs in January. So it just kind of checks a bunch of boxes. Can I say, too, whether it's screens, whether it's end-arounds, like that's the one thing in this system when you watch the Rams and the Niners and people through the years, Deebo Samuel was such a ball in his hands on some of that end-around, the special teams phase of it, the return phase of it. And there's really no downside. And Daniel Jeremiah's first point when that news broke to us yesterday was he does not need volume. This is not a threat to JSN. This should not in any way be like, oh, great. This is going to hurt the team. This guy's got to get it, or he's going to complain. He's going to whine. He's going to want his touches. No. I don't think that will be an issue at all.
No, he sounds like one of the truly great dudes in the league. Everybody seems to love him. So, pretty cool. Also, Reek Woolen and Boye Mafe both here. Hey, and did you see? I noticed that Reek Woolen, who's asked us to call him Reek, all of his social media still says Tarik Woolen on it.
Mm-hmm.
So if he's not going to change that, why should I change?
Hey, Lyle, you there?
Yeah, I'm listening.
You're kind of a hipster. What did he tweet out yesterday? What was it a picture of? What was that?
I would not call Lyle hipster.
Not in any way.
It left
Hip,
me
maybe.
deeply confused. Hip, young, millennial, Gen Z.
Not even a millennial.
I'm gonna guess he was
What was
playing.
that?
I'm gonna guess he was playing into all the rumors of him being traded.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Like, oh, here I am. I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't get
All right.
traded. Neither did Boye Mafe. Both of them are still here. So another commitment to this season for the Seahawks.
You don't call Lyle hip?
Well, I might, but I wouldn't call him a hipster.
Hip
Those
and
two things
hipster,
don't
not
mean
the same.
anything similar.
Oh, two very different things.
Yeah, you just have no idea what a hipster is. That's fine. They were quiet on the linebacker front as well, Brock. So hopefully that's good news on Ernest Jones.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
Lyle, you think of yourself as a hipster?
I gotta be honest with you. No.
No one thinks of Lyle that way.
It's like if you go to some random bar and the guy has one of those old-timey
curly-Q
mustaches that curl up, and he wears like different. Yeah, he's like, I make drinks
Stocking
with
caps.
I'm into like
random shrubs that I make.
Yeah, I pickle things when I'm at home. Like when Justin is closer to a hipster than Lyle is.
Yeah.
Any hipsters in our building?
Yes, Jacob.
Jacob's a hipster.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Does that help?
All right. Sure.
Not the old engineer Jacob. Jacob from Curly's old producer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
He's a hipster, I would say.
Okay.
Mariners, interesting note from Buster Olney saying that he believes the Tigers are probably going to be interested in trading Tarik Skubal because they're not going to be able to sign him. And so if he is out there, Buster listed the Mariners as the number one team that could have interest and could be a fit.
Major league arms, minor league arms, minor league farm system, a GM that's willing to trade.
You got to be real sure, man.
It up,
you
right?
got to be
Kinda line it up.
real sure that you're going to the playoffs this year and have an opportunity to get to the World Series.
Wow, this is not the way I thought you'd go.
You got to be real. It's the 1 year. I got to think a little bit more. I'm not ready to be okay. I'm not saying I'd be mad and hate it if
Were
it
you
happened.
this torn with the Mitch Garver option of whether the team should pick
Almost,
it up,
yeah.
whether they should not pick it up?
What if he goes somewhere else and has a bounce back year? Maybe you should give him another $12 million to be the backup catcher. No, that wasn't the way I thought about it. No.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
We just talked about this, so I'm going to be quick on this because I got to read you this text. I'm dying reading this text, Brock. The first college football playoff rankings came out. The Huskies are 23rd. We just talked through that. They could get up into the top 12. Probably, got to win out, and especially going to have to beat Oregon. Kraken back on the ice tonight. They are home against San Jose, and you get to see Macklin Celebrini, their young player, who's really, really good. That is everything you need to know.
Any relation to Enum Claw's Brian Scalabrine?
It's Celebrini.
Oh, Celebrini.
Yeah, I mean, not the same name, so probably not related. Not even spelled with the same first letter. Celebrini's with a C. So no, not related to Brian Scalabrine. Love
I
Scal.
think Chris Egan, I know you got a text. I think Egan had one of the best tweets. He was at the Claw. That was the Enum Claw, big rival game with White River. And you know how the Enum Claw linemen come out? They come out in a big hog carrier with smoke. The truck comes out onto the field, delivering the O-line in a hog trailer.
God.
And they walk out of there. I love that. Oof, that's good.
So we just had this conversation, Brock, about Halloween
Reply all?
candy. No, not the reply all, but the Halloween candy thing. And now I'm worried that I've been doing Halloween wrong all these years. And so this comes from the 253. These are your people.
Yeah.
We talked about how there was not nearly enough Halloween candy this year at the desk.
Leftovers.
Nobody seems to have leftovers, and there's a lot of thought that maybe it's because Halloween candy was too expensive. 253 says you shouldn't be charging kids candy higher prices. Not cool. Should I be charging kids who show up to the house to get candy? Have I been doing this wrong? Is Halloween a money-making enterprise?
No.
Or at least hoping to break even on the candy that I've bought at the store? I feel like maybe I've been doing this wrong. Kid comes up, trick or treat. You're like, all right, $4. Let's go. Oh, you want a large Snickers? That'll be $8, thanks. Like, is that what you're supposed to be doing on Halloween?
No, I've never heard that.
You shouldn't be charging higher prices for candy. Not cool. I didn't realize. I'm sorry. I didn't know.
I think he's speaking to Costco and QFC and Piggly Wiggly and the Red Apple Market.
Piggly Wiggly?
And the rest of them.
What are you talking about? I thought he was talking to me. Like, hey, Salk, you shouldn't be charging so much. Like, I wish I was charging something at all. I'd be in a much better spot right now.
Whole Foods candy.
Yeah, it's great. It's sugar-free. Sugar-free granola. All right, are you guys, do you guys have trash takes? Do we have trash takes coming up in 20 minutes?
I got a couple.
Is anything going to be better than
Verducci?
Tom Verducci yesterday? No?
Any reply all?
No.
Out
Nobody
there
wants to.
Nobody wants to throw their coworkers under the bus.
Not in public. Not in a public forum like this.
Come on.
Nobody wants to do that. All right, we got trash takes coming up in about 20 minutes, and I kind of I'll go back to Skubal for you. Yeah, we could talk a little bit more about that. It's Brock and Salk Sales Sports on 710.
Bump and Stacy, weekdays 10 to 2.
You and I got into a debate. They needed to make a statement. You were like, they're a good team that's kind of flown under the radar, but I think they like that.
To me, I use the word like signature win. I guess you can't make a statement, but I like signature. I like that because signature win is like, all right, beat the team you're supposed to beat, like dominate this game. We want to feel like this game is over by halftime, and that's what they did.
Only on Seattle Sports on 710. Seattle Sports on YouTube and the Seattle Sports app.
Hey, it's Mike Salk here, and we are coming down the final stretch of 2025. It's certainly a whole lot colder out, rainier out, daylight's gone, basically. It's like dark all the time. I can't stand this time of year, but it really can weigh on some people. And when I say weigh, I mean like it impacts your mindset, your health, even your weight. Yeah, don't allow that to happen this year. Use Eastside Weight Loss Clinic to help. They can help. They helped me lose 35 pounds in the span of just 8 weeks, and that could be you by essentially New Year's. You'd be halfway there by Thanksgiving, which you could use as maybe like a little cheat meal. Celebrate your success and then go finish the year even stronger. You can lose up to 10 to 20% of your body weight in just 8 weeks. Do it without expensive injections or any uncomfortable side effects. It starts as just a 15-minute phone call, and you'll find out when you do that Eastside Weight Loss Clinic is having their biggest sale of the year, over $300 off normal pricing. That runs through December 31st. Schedule your meeting right now at eastsideweightlossclinic.com. That's eastsideweightlossclinic.com. Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C. Results may vary.
Lowe's knows pros want more. Join My Lowe's Pro Rewards for free to get $20 off your first qualifying purchase of $100 or more just for signing up. Plus, enjoy free standard shipping and more ways to save on your next job. Lowe's, we help, you save. Offer valid for new members only. Not valid with any other discount. Free standard shipping not available in Alaska and Hawaii. Exclusions and more terms apply. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Visit Lowe's.com/pro-loyalty for details. Subject to change.
Stacey Rost here from Seattle Sports. Ladies and gentlemen, this is for you too. Stubborn fat is really hard to get rid of. And then there's all those gimmicky lasers, fat freezing methods, prescriptions. But imagine a simple solution that takes just one day and provides immediate, noticeable results. Introducing ProSculpt. ProSculpt uses air-assisted technology that's safe and gentle, yet powerful, delivering instant fat-reducing and skin-tightening results. Performed by board-certified plastic surgeons while fully awake, ProSculpt contours your body with minimal downtime. It's designed to target problem areas: waistline, face, neck, arms, thighs. ProSculpt gently removes unwanted fat and tightens loose skin with FDA-cleared plasma technology, all in a simple, guaranteed one-day procedure. ProSculpt is one and done. For your free consultation and $250 off, visit prosculpt.com for powerful permanent fat removal and skin tightening that works for ladies and you men. It's prosculpt.com.
Ryan Roland Smith here. For more than 35 years, the NBA Health Insurance Trust has been helping local builders, contractors, and their employees save money and gain peace of mind. They offer customized group health plans from the state's leading insurance providers. Small and mid-sized businesses deserve big healthcare access. The NBA Health Trust brings you the coverage you want at a price you can trust. Find out more at mbahealthtrust.com. That's mbahealthtrust.com.
2 years ago, my office launched a major media campaign to identify a key witness to our client's bicycle accident, which we later settled for $10 million. Because when we accept a case, we don't rest until we do everything possible to improve our client's chance of recovery. We're one of only a few firms in the state with an in-house investigation team building our clients' cases. So when you hire Davis Law Group, you don't just get a dedicated and award-winning legal team. You get our commitment to better service and even better results. Request a free consultation today at 206-888-8888.
The home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
Touchdown! Seahawks! Ken Walker III!
Get everything Seahawks at seattlesports.com.
When it comes to the security of your business, doubts can creep in about who you're trusting to protect it. Are they a reliable service? How will I know if something happens? Are they keeping everyone safe? At Bay Alarm, we got you. For nearly 80 years, we've been putting our customers' minds at ease with our advanced technology and personalized support. Feeling insecure about your current security service? Visit bayalarm.com today to talk to a local security expert.
You've heard the saying, you never get a second chance to make a first impression. Since 1926, my family's been helping local businesses make great first, second, and long-term impressions. We know how to make your company look good with quality uniforms, logoed apparel, floor mats, linens, and more. If you're paying for linen service or doing it yourself, let's have the conversation. The information and quote are free, but the savings and service can really add up. Visit suplinen.com. Superior Linen Service. It's what we do.
Selling cars is a really easy business. It's complicated by really bad dealers. And why do we do that? Well, because we think that the less information we give and the more that we can dictate it on our terms, the more profitable we'll be. And what we found is that this is the exact opposite. The easier we make it, the more information we give, the more comfortable customers are in doing business with us. Now, that one transaction, we might make a little bit less on, but it's not the one. It's that one that leads to the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth. It's not the one individual. He's like, but you never get to the spouse, the parents, the kids, the friends, if you don't take care of them first.
It's not a script. It's a belief. The LJ Way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Well, this is interesting, Brock. This is interesting.
Oh, what?
Well, I went into the drawer. Oh, I grabbed the wrong hat. Darn it. I grabbed a quantum fiber hat. I went into the drawer I got sidetracked. I went into the drawer to grab my Trash Takes hat. And so I grabbed the first hat I saw. I assumed that was one of the Trash Takes hat. But there was like an entire giant bag of candy hiding in that drawer, Brock. I got a Reese's right here.
See, Raj.
I don't know who's hiding it in there. Probably Lefko. That would be my guess.
Matt Nelson, Maddie.
That is a full either one, Lyle. I'll take either hat. I don't care. Either one. But this is a gigantic thing of candy.
Really?
Yeah. So anyway, just letting you know that's in there. So maybe that factors into our
Still
Halloween
no reply
conversation.
all on there, huh? Still a bunch of softies.
Nobody.
People will not call out their coworkers.
Nobody wants to do that. No.
That's sad.
No. Nobody's willing to call.
I'm a
out
little
their
torn,
coworkers.
Salk. I'm a little torn on my trash take. Do I want to try to win or do I want to try to have some fun? I think I'm going to try to. I think I'm going to have some fun.
Okay. Well,
and
if
you
we get
mentioned
there
John
early
Clayton.
enough, we can go both ways. We'll see. Maybe we'll give you two options.
So why are you torn on this? This is not like Mike Salk.
Why?
Mike Salk loves to go from good to great to elite.
It's
Mike
true.
Salk loves to add to your team. The amount of conversation we had about Trey Hendrickson, who, by the way, kind of the league or the Bengals both said, no thanks, but no thanks. Whether that's a hip injury, whether it's $1 million a game, whatever it is, that didn't happen with anybody.
So why am I not immediately all in?
Why are you
Buster
not
Olney, and just
immediately
to
all
explain, Buster Olney has this report saying, he thinks the Tigers are probably going to be in a bind here. Lyle mentioned the other day that the reports are that they only offered Tarik Skubal 4 years, $80 million on an extension, which is, that's a joke. That's an insult, honestly. And if they're not going to be able to re-sign him, which they're not, then do they think about trading him this offseason?
I did see also, by the way, it looks like Jack Flaherty picked up his $20 million option. So
so they think that Jack Flaherty and Tarik Skubal should make about the same amount.
Right.
Yeah, that's some real quality work being done in that front office. So anyway, whatever. We'll see how all that goes. But Buster mentions the Mariners as a leading candidate to try to trade for him, and that brought up a conversation. Do you want it to happen? And of course, you hear Tarik Skubal, you're like, yes. Oh my God, yes, of course. I want Tarik Skubal. Who doesn't? Arguably the best pitcher in the game.
His last pitch against you in the 7th inning, and by the way, had he stayed out for the 8th inning, he's probably still throwing 99 miles an hour with the changeup that you just in the whole league and nobody can hit. This is a Cy Young Award winner. Is he going to win it again this year? Is he going to be a 2-time back-to-back Cy Young Award winner? Certainly a front runner in that conversation. So, this is a bulldog. This is what you need.
It's an obvious answer. Do you want Tarik Skubal? Yes. That part is easy. But of course, it's baseball, so it's not that easy. Right? Nothing is as easy as do you want Tarik Skubal? It is what are you going to give up and for how long do you get him? And the real problem here for me is not even so much how much you've got to give up, although I think it would be significant, even for only 1 year of Tarik Skubal, because I think the market out there would be also significant. Buster's absolutely right. The Mets, if the Mets just decide, hey, this is worth everything to us, we're the Mets, we've got so many other things, and our pitching is such a disaster, this is what we need. And everybody who just watched what Yamamoto was able to do in the postseason and dragging his team all the way to a World Series champion, Brock, the market
Mets
is
don't get to
be,
decide that.
No, but the market's going to be significant.
Do the Mets have what the Mariners would have? You say this all the time in these trades over the years. Go get it done. But you don't know how it matches up. And this is not one of those cases where the Yankees or the Mets are just going to outbid you. Like, this is your system. This is you having the resources.
Yeah, but are you willing to do all
want.
of that for a guy that is probably going to leave at the end of the year? Scott Boras client, right? You know you're potentially only trading for 1 year. Whereas if you're the Mets, you could make that trade for him and instantly offer him, instead of 4 years, $80 million, 4 years, $280 million just for fun.
But
because
they
you
don't get
can.
to decide that. The Tigers get to decide
I
this.
know that, but
Tigers
Brock,
have all the power in this. And by the way, it's a 1
what I'm saying.
year.
You are not
1 year,
listening to me.
$17.8
You're
million
not
deal.
listening to me. The Mets can go farther with the number of prospects they're willing to give up because they have a realistic chance of turning it into a long-term thing.
Understood.
The Mariners may have better prospects than the Mets do. But if you are only trading it for what you believe to be, you have to be under the assumption it's only 1 year of Tarik Skubal, which has to limit what you're willing to give up.
Okay, I got
If you're the Mets, you're saying this might be 7 years of Tarik Skubal. And so you could go much farther into what you're willing to give up in order to bring him into your organization.
Understood, but it is still the Tigers looking at that menu
That I
going,
understand.
hey, man, that's fine. You're giving up 5 guys, but I like their 3 better.
But if I'm the
So-
Mets, I say, okay, well, just whatever you do, don't make a deal without calling me because I'll top it. Oh, you like those 3 better? Which guy do you want for my system? What makes it better for you? Because eventually the Mariners are going to bow out. So that's part one of it. But the biggest thing for me is, yes, I do like good to great. I do like the opportunity, Brock, to bring in the best pitcher in the American League and try to put you over the top. But it's really hard for me to commit to that until I have a better sense of what's going on in all of these other open positions throughout the Mariner infield and right field. And Shannon, I'm going on with Shannon later today after the show. We're doing, me and Shannon and Ryan Roland Smith are doing a roundtable of sorts that Shannon's going to put out here on digital platforms.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, okay, here's what I want you to prepare for. The first question is really a state of the Mariners. I don't know what the state of the Mariners is right now. I know what it was 3 weeks ago. I know what it looks like with Josh Naylor and Jorge Polanco. And I understand that state of the Mariners. I don't know what the state of the Mariners is right now because Polanco is, we believe, going to, opt out here in another couple of days. Naylor, we believe, seems pretty interested in trying to test the free agent market. If those 2 things happen, I don't know. We believe Eugenio Suarez isn't likely to come back. And do they want another year of Gino at third base? I don't know what the state of the Mariners is right now because 3 of the infield positions are open. The DH spot is open and right field is open. I don't know. I don't know whether you're a team, and I'm not saying you're not a team that needs Tarik Skubal. If Josh Naylor's back in the fold and you say, all right, we're going to bring up Colt Emerson and he and Williamson are going to compete at third, and we've got Polanco and we've got Cole Young at second and DH, and Harry Ford's going to be the backup catcher, and we'll figure out right field. Okay. Yeah, for that team, do I want to make a deal for Tarik Skubal? Yes. But for a team that right now doesn't have an answer at first, second, third, or right, or DH, no. I'm not ready to make that deal until I know how some of those other things are going to work out.
Interesting. So as you prioritize it, you need to know those things before you would need to know this thing.
Because I know I like my pitching staff. Whether it's perfect or not, I like it. Right? We all like it. It may not be perfect. You would love to have an ace to add to it. And I would love Tarik Skubal. But I don't know whether it's worth going all in on 1 year of Tarik Skubal until I know the answers to some of those other questions. If it was 5 years of Tarik Skubal, I'd say, yeah, of course. Do I want an ace? Yes, of course I do. But 1 year of an ace pitcher without knowing how I'm going to deal with all of those other problems?
Lyle told me he had a new angle to this. And I said, save it for the air, Lyle.
All right.
Save it for the air. Lyle's got a new little wrinkle that he wants to present. And by the way, okay, I was wrong. He's not a hipster.
No.
Not a hipster.
Not at all.
He's just a 20-something.
Right.
But he's not a hipster.
He's just young. Yeah.
But we love him.
Right.
Yeah, Lyle, go ahead.
Can I blueprint something out a little bit here? Because now we've had a little bit of time to let this marinate, and I've just thought about it a little bit more. So if you go back to the Corbin Burns trade, who's won a Cy Young in his career, the year before the trade he finished 8th, what did the Orioles get, or what did they give up for 1 year of him? They gave up 2 guys who were low-end, top 100 prospects, but never were true. They were never true blue-chip guys. They weren't quite to the level of some of the prospects the Mariners have.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking through this a little bit more about what it would take to get somebody like Skuba who's going to win back-to-back Cy Youngs. And I don't know if this is perfect, but I'm just trying to throw something out a little bit more. What if you did throw Luis Castillo into this trade package, which gives the Tigers a starting pitcher in your competitive window with multiple years of club control? The Mariners say, okay, we will eat some of Castillo's money to offset it a little bit while not eating all of it to still give yourself some flexibility with what you want to do the rest of the offseason. What if it's Castillo? It's Jurangelo St. Just, so a pitcher who's on the doorstep, giving him another pitcher. And let's say Las Montez. I know now we're going to get a bunch of texts. Oh, you can't trade Las Montez under any circumstance. Well, he's got real strikeout problems, and there's no guarantee he's going to be great. It's a lottery ticket, but it's a good lottery ticket. What if that was the trade package you made? So your 2026 rotation becomes Skubal, Logan, Wu, Kirby, Bryce Miller. And then when Skubal leaves after a year, it becomes Wu, Logan, Kirby, Bryce Miller, Kate Anderson.
Who's playing first base?
But if you don't,
I'm just curious.
Well, that you still have to figure out, and hopefully it's Josh Naylor. But if you
who's playing second base?
But why does that? Why does that have to impact this move? This is a separate trade.
Yeah, because you're giving up significant pieces that you might need to use for yourself and might need to use to go find a first baseman or a third baseman or a right fielder or a DH or a second baseman.
I think Cole Young's going to be playing second base.
I think he is too. I'm not saying that all of those positions are lost causes, not even close. But the idea of Naylor and Polanco both walk. Now what?
I would just guess both of them do not, and you have enough flexibility.
That's a really big guess. I'm not saying I'm not ever willing to talk about Tarik Skubal. You tell me that, you've got one of those things set up and you're ready to go. I'm right here. I'm back in with you. Let's go. Let's have this conversation. I'm in. I love it. Lyle, the deal that you just outlined is totally fair. I mean, I think you could make a legitimate case that it's George Kirby and a lower end prospect, and that's actually a fairly good deal for both teams. Detroit gets another really good pitcher for a couple of years, and you get an ace for this year. Like, I think there's a lot of conversation in there. But I think it's really hard until you know what you're doing at those other spots until
we'll have a
you're not
indicator
back to where you were at the end of last year
in 48 hours, right? In 48, the free agency period begins 48 hours. So we'll know a little bit with Polanco. And, what Shannon said to us, we totally, unfortunately, were waylaid by the Naylor news. But the other portion of that was, hey, maybe Polanco's your first baseman.
Right.
Right? What if Polanco's your switch hitting first baseman?
Okay. Now, who is your DH?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, my point, and who's playing third? So you're going to roll out Polanco at first, Cole Young at second, and either Ben Williamson or Colt Emerson at third? You want to do that?
Yeah, they sure would be benefited by having
and in right field
and in right field,
one every 5 days,
and best rotation in baseball.
And in right field, you're going to throw out there the combination you had last year with Robles and Canzone that everyone was so down on in the postseason. And why can't they be more like the Blue Jays because the bottom of this lineup stinks and yada yada. Mm-hmm. But now all of a sudden it's totally fine. Like, guys, I'm not saying no. I'm just saying give me some more solid information about what the rest of the team looks like. I'm happy to believe the Mariners can get back to where they were in this point last year or next year, rather. But until that we have some sense of what that looks like, if those guys walk, now you have to have a conversation. It's not that I'm trying to prospect hoard. I might need to trade Jurangelo St. just to get myself a replacement for Josh Naylor.
Bring him home. Just bring him home. Bring our boy home.
Well, I'm glad it's easy for you. Just bring him home. It's all fine.
So easy.
Okay. Well, I'm glad it's that easy for you.
It is.
The same person who complained over and over and over again last year about having too good a pitching staff and not a good enough offense. You want to run out how many rookies next year?
Lyle, bring him home.
Oh, my God. I'm so done with you. Lyle, let's do some trash takes because Brock has already won with his trash take here.
Get it together. Y'all look like trash.
Trash takes.
It's a bunch of trash.
Oh, gosh. I thought it was trash.
On Brock and Salk.
That's a terrible take.
No marketed fan base loves their own more than this one. Bring him home.
Yeah, let's roll out Harry Ford and Cole Young and Ben Williamson and Dominic Canzone and then at the end of that be like, that's weird that it didn't work. We had such good pitching.
Don't worry about it, Salk. The rest of it will work out. Just like it did in the acquisition phase at the deadline 2 of the last 3 years. That worked.
It could. It's a little hard if you've already given up that many big-time parts of your team.
Just bring them home.
Okay. Or just keep saying bring them home. Wow.
All right, I got to go
If you
first.
just keep repeating one
I gotta
phrase
go
over and
first.
over again, people will vote. Agree with you.
I got to go first.
Go ahead.
Because we've mentioned how much fun it would have been for John Clayton to deal with the newest Seahawks name. Who was the DN that what was that guy's name? That he would screw up by one letter, and it was the first name and the last name. Oh, it'll hit me here in a second.
Oh, yes.
Yes, but we had
Markevius Mingo? He called him Markevius Bingo.
Markevius Bingo.
Of course, you got Markevius Bingo.
That is a great poll, Salky. So, come on, man. Put some respect on this guy's name. He's the best receiver in the game. You would think in one of the biggest markets in America, 2 legends would figure out how to say Jackson Smith and Jigba. You'd think so. But here's 2 of them trying.
Smith, Nijba, however you say it. I mean,
The Seahawks blocked a 48-yard field goal with 4 minutes left, which would have put the Pats up 6. That was a big play in this game. Smith played well, and his receivers, Metcalf caught 10, Jackson Smith, Nagujuba, the kid from Ohio State.
Oh, my God. Who was the first one?
Francesca.
It was both Francesca?
Oh, Mad
The other one
Dog
was
was
Mad
the
Dog.
second.
Mad Dog was the second one. Yeah.
But that one might be old because you said the Pats, right?
That was last year. But yes.
So both Mike and the Mad Dog struggling with Jackson Smith and
Yeah,
Jigba.
let me hear Francesca. This was last week. Let me hear just the first part.
Smith, Nijba, however you say it.
I'm surprised he even tried to take that name on.
Yes.
It's
Well, they both tried
it's
just
wrought
calling
with
him.
peril.
They both tried just calling him Smith first.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, Smith.
Yeah.
Smith.
It's a dangerous one. That take could have gotten even worse. All right, Mike and the Mad Dog trying to say Jackson Smith and Jigba. Okay, that's number 1. Brock, thank you for that. Of course, you got Markevius Bingo.
I think Howdy used to have a folder, but it got eliminated, huh?
I had one. Yeah.
You had one too, Maura.
The John Clayton name folder.
Will Tuku.
Saquon Barkley was a difficult one. Just wanted to say like Daquan, Deshaun. Yeah.
All right, that's all I got. Lyle, Maura.
Well, I kind of blew it, and I already told you the one that I'm going to use.
The former number 6 overall pick. Drafted number 6 overall by the Browns when he came into the league.
Well, of course, that's Markevius Mingo getting the chance to sign. He's the first Seahawk.
I was like, what's going on here? Yeah.
We've lost Salk. We lost him.
We love him and miss him dearly, but there were some name troubles from time to time.
Markevius Bingo.
I mean, Tyler Lockett also became TJ Lockett a lot, because of TJ Duckett.
TJ Duckett. Yeah, that was a tough one.
Getting the chance to sign. He's the first. Yes, Mingo getting the chance.
Okay. Should I go now?
Sure.
Yes.
Distracted.
Come on, you got Will Tukuafu in there, don't you? Tukuafu.
All right, mine is Mr. Jerry Jones. He did a live show with Stephen A. Smith, DeMarcus Ware, and Michael Irvin. And he just still, they broke up. Get over it. He just still can't stop talking about Micah Parsons.
Not even in the hottest of days and two-a-days in August in Texas, between 11 in the morning or when they quit practicing or 4 in the afternoon.
It's hot.
Did I never see any one of these two go over and lay on a damn training table in front of 1 million people? This is not fair. Micah's not here. I'm going to tell you something. I really think a lot of Micah Parsons. And it wasn't a question of wanting him on the team, but to anoint him in terms of that and everybody else looking at him, you better have some thinking.
Let it go. Why are you still
It is
talking
weird.
about him?
Yeah, just be quiet because it's
He
Jerry.
got killed because he got killed for it.
Because he doesn't care about anything other than being in the public eye.
Yeah, but
every
does
day.
he
It's
think
like,
this
fun.
is helping him getting killed for it?
No.
It's making you look like a bitter ex even more.
Just talk about the Cowboys. That's all he cares about.
But then he's bringing in Quinn and Williams.
Tuatawafo, he may stay.
You guys are so mature.
What'd you say, bro?
What was that?
What did you just say?
Tukafu, Tuatawafo, he may stay.
I better win this week,
I
Lyle.
miss John,
What you
man.
got?
I miss
do
John.
too.
He's so fun.
It's the best.
Lyle?
You
What
ready?
got? Yeah.
All right. Mine's actually Mad Dog too, but he was going off about Joe Davis, a Dodgers employee,
I saw
hosting the
this.
Dodgers parade. So here we go.
When you're a national broadcaster and you're the voice of the sport on a big stage, when you did 1 million playoff games, and then they, in one of the crippling losses that a franchise is going to have in the history of the sport, that's as bad a loss as you're ever going to have. And I got Joe, basically the body's not even cold yet. And I got Joe at Dodger Stadium doing the freaking Dodger parade. Oh my God, that's bad. I'm sorry. I don't care what you say. You can say I'm screaming and yelling about nothing. That would piss me off if I'm a Blue Jay fan.
You're an employee of the Dodgers. The Dodgers ask you to host an event, and you say okay.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you. I love all three of these. Thank you, guys. Great trash takes this week. The Trash Master is in effect. And Brock, let's see. Maura, I'm going to rule out Jerry first.
Okay.
It's ridiculous, but I think I
should have put you guys in there because when you found that bag of candy, I just ate an Almond Joy because they're delicious.
That's a terrible take yourself.
No,
Almond
you guys
Joy's
have to trash take on that one.
So, yeah, I mean, good take, Maura, but yeah, not as strong as the other two. Lyle, that's an awful, awful take. I mean, first of all, I watched every game of the World Series on Fox. If you did not know that Joe Davis worked for the Dodgers, I honestly think you might have come away thinking that he was more biased, if at all, towards the Blue Jays than anything else. I felt like he was hyping the Blue Jays up more than the Dodgers, and I'm sure as a reaction to knowing that he gets one of his 2 paychecks from the Dodgers. So I thought he did an excellent job of neutrality in that series. I had some other issues with the broadcast, but it had nothing to do with whether or not Joe Davis was impartial. The fact that he also works for the Dodgers, he puts on 2 hats. What do you want? He's one of the best play-by-play guys in the country. When he's done with one job, he does another job, and he treats them very differently. Same way Brock Heward could go host something at UW and capably call an Apple Cup without sounding like a biased lunatic.
I mean, not according to the mean text.
They don't know what they're talking about, and they don't need to. Mad Dog is just looking for attention here. He's just looking for something to say. But I'm going to go with Brock's, unfortunately. Mike and the Mad Dog screwing up Smith and Jigba. I honestly, I think we have a texter here, and I don't want to go too far down this road, who says that it's insulting and honestly a form of racism and it's disrespectful. I don't disagree with that. I do think it's insulting. Get the guy's name right. And just because it doesn't sound like your name, I don't mind somebody messing up a name. I mess up names all the time. Not knowing how to pronounce a name is not necessarily, disrespectful or racism or criminal or anything like that. But doing it to that extent and kind of laughing about, at some point, that's the guy's name. I'm sorry, it doesn't sound like yours. He's from a different culture.
JSN?
Yeah, that's true. That's also out there as a possibility. Do you remember Matthias Kiwanuka doing that, Brock, to the mayor of Boise?
Be pretty
who laughed and mispronounced his name at the Boise Bowl, and Matthias Kiwanuka in college was like, no thanks. Pronounce my name right. I'm descended from kings. Get my name right. I'm sorry it doesn't sound like yours. I was kind of like that. So I'll go with you, Brock. Nice win.
Thank you.
Good win on that one. All right, we got to get out of here. We think Trent Green tomorrow. Is that right?
Yes.
We're working on Trent Green. He's got the Seahawks game on Sunday.
Yes.
And then I did reach out to Buster, so maybe there's a possibility to talk to Buster about his big thing, about Tarik Skubal and the Mariners, and maybe we can even continue to debate it. I seem like I've really convinced people with my argument. Well, definitely not Brock, and maybe nobody else.
Just bring him home.
just make Skubal Mariner again or something like that. It's we'll be back tomorrow morning. Bump and Stacy up next. The Hayes in the Barn. See you, everybody.
Get to the chopper!
Bump and Stacy. Weekdays 10 to 2.
You and I got into a debate. They needed to make a statement. You were like, they're a good team that's kind of flown under the radar, but I think they like that.
To me, I use the word like signature win. I guess you can't make a statement, but I like signature. I like that because signature win is like, all right, be the team you're supposed to beat, like dominate this game. We want to feel like this game is over by halftime, and that's what they did.
Only on Seattle Sports on 710. Seattle Sports on YouTube and the Seattle Sports app.
In the Pacific Northwest, choose Star Rentals for construction equipment. With 18 locations, they deliver superior service and unmatched follow-through. Visit starrentals.com. Star Rentals, the preferred supplier to the West's best contractors.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here. For my friends at People Come First or PCF Construction Group, are you tired of just grilling in the cold and rain every winter in the Northwest? Well, with a patio cover, heater, and fireplace from PCF, you can enjoy your outdoor deck or patio all year long, staying warm and dry, even in the wintry months. And I have a special offer for you. PCF's Black Friday sale runs through November, and you can get up to 20% off your entire project, plus no payments and no interest until 2027. Most people don't consider building a deck in winter, but if you want yours ready by next spring and summer, then contact PCF right now to start planning. Spend the winter dreaming, designing, and approving your project so you're ready to build by the spring. Remember, planning and permits take time, so get started right now. Find all the offer details, get project ideas, and browse photos at pcfgroup.com or call 425-629-8476. That's 425-629-8476, pcfgroup.com.
It's game time, and Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton are lining up with a roster that's built to dominate the field. The gas-powered RAV4, built to power through every drive, rain or shine. Or switch up the play with the hybrid RAV4, versatile, efficient, and always moving the chains. The Tacoma, tough, dependable, and clutch when it counts. And now, taking the field, the all-new 2026 Toyota Tundra, redesigned, powerful, and built for the big moments. Whether you're in the north or the south, Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton have your winning ride. Visit toyotaofkirkland.com and toyotaofrenton.com.
Winter's here, Seattle. Is your roof ready? Get $500 off by scheduling your free estimate at 3treeroofing.com. Let us make your roofing project easy this winter. Our certified crews deliver worry-free installations backed by industry-leading warranties, even in the rainy season. 3Tree Roofing, your Puget Sound roofing experts.
Comcast Business can help turn your small business into a connected, secure, modern business. It's how restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How healthcare offices become the data-protecting caregivers that we all depend on. And how wealth management firms become cyber-securing guardians of your information. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, and Wi-Fi backup, your business can stay connected and get threat-ready with Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Now through November 16th, new Comcast Business customers can get started with 150 megabit internet plus security for $59.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Plus, ask how to get a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig package. Call today. Restrictions apply. Requires enrollment in paperless billing and auto pay with bank account. Early termination fee applies. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra.
When you're at home and next to your windows, do you notice cold air or a draft when the wind blows? How about moisture or leaking during a rainstorm? Dave Wyman here, and after 20 years in our home, our window seals started breaking. A failed window can do major damage to your home, and the older the window, the more likely it is to fail. That's why right now is an excellent time to have Harley Exteriors come by for a no-charge consultation. That's exactly what I had done over the summer, and not only were they extremely knowledgeable about all things windows, I found them to be polite,